So what was it you did?
I took the NES controller and I put it up his. Oh,
Oh,
hi. Welcome to the Worldbuilding podcast.
welcome.
I'm Vixie the Pixie,
And I'm Sorum the Voidborn.
and we're gonna be building a world.
Indeed.
From the bottom, from scratch to the top.
Stone by stone, or considering the last episode, long over a while ago, that
Yeah.
was recorded, not that it was uploaded. It's more accurate to say tree by tree.
Yeah. Yeah.
We made a lot of trees.
Yeah, last time we made the map, and there's a lot of trees on the map.
Yeah, that's a big
Lot
step.
of trees on the map. But today we're not gonna be doing that.
No, we're not.
Because today we are going to be creating species. We are going to be harnessing the power of life.
We are creating life.
Yes.
All right.
Anyway,
So, brief moment of Frankenstein over.
yes. Before that, I do want to talk about something.
Oh dear. Okay.
I want to talk
This
about
ought to be good.
magic.
Magic.
Because we have discussed some magic stuff.
That we have,
obviously,
yes.
especially during the cosmology episode.
Oh yeah, that was a big one.
Yes. However, there is something that we did kind of put off, and that is what happens when you die.
True. Yeah, true. What does happen
and
when you
that
die?
might be very relevant to, the things living.
Good point.
So I think we should maybe talk about that a little bit first.
Okay. Let's start with, I think, a pretty important baseline.
Yes.
Is what happens after death a known fact? Like, is there some way that the living has found out? Or is it like reality where we don't know what happens?
That might be dependent on the species.
Indeed.
Because, for example, if someone is specifically made as a guardian by a specific cosmological force, they probably might know a little bit about what happens.
But of course.
But if someone just kind of exists, they might not really, like, average Joe from downtown might not have like the
Divine
detailed
wisdom.
understanding, yeah, of the great plan.
I don't know. He makes
So-
a killer ass pizza, and I don't know how you do that without some
Yeah.
goddamn divine wisdom of his own.
So one thing there is to note.
Yeah.
There is the whole thing where you can use magic by basically using your soul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One idea I had is, okay, if you use magic from with your soul from a specific force, you basically have to tie your soul to that force.
Ooh,
And so your soul automatically goes there.
Yeah.
And that's also why it's so like volatile and hard to control, is because you're literally like saying, I am this.
Yeah, okay.
I am life, or I am death.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things. And obviously that would also make it really difficult for people who use their soul for magic to use multiple kinds of magic. So that's also a limiting factor on that. It's a lot easier to do that if you're using your mind instead of your soul. Because I'm thinking basically, if you're using your soul to do magic with two kinds of magic, those two, let's say, archangels,
Yeah.
would have to basically make an agreement for your soul.
Fucking do a quick handshake over it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's super rare, but it could happen.
Yeah.
Like, someone could wield divine flame.
We are developing quite the potential for guardian angels.
Oh yeah.
Literal guardian angels.
Yeah. That's
It's the guardian angel of hell.
And so obviously there's gonna be people who think like, oh, I can totally control it.
Yeah.
Maybe they can, but usually they can't.
So So the occasional, I suppose the question would then be like, I mean, I know that we're not going to focus too much on that because it's
Yeah,
more of
yeah,
it's more magic than it is than
yeah.
but one thing I guess I would want to ask in that relation is like, what would be uh like I know it'd definitely be a case by case, but is there anything that would sort of be a defining factor in when it would be a successful agreement and when it would be the two angels saying no, go fuck yourself?
um,
Because there are better relations between certain ones, so that might
yeah,
have a big
of
factor.
course.
But it's not
Um,
often we are gonna see, like, I can already imagine there's a story about the chosen one being the only being to have uh harnessed both order and chaos magic.
nah, harness all of them, and it's like one single person, and it's the fucking Avatar.
Either that or he's pulling a Horcrux and just splitting his
Yeah.
soul evenly. Well, not evenly in the form of the Horcruxes. The last people are getting kind of ripped off. It's being
But
halved every
they,
time. The people at the end are like, "Come on, we got like fucking hundreds."
but I do want. What is it specifically you're
Like,
asking about?
yeah, we just like agreed that a a soul being capable of being tied to two separate types of
Yeah.
magic would be the equivalent of two archangels coming to an agreement over it.
Yes.
Would there be any sort of outside factor or perhaps born factor, like
I mean,
born with factor, that would make that a
my
more likely thing, or is that entirely case by case?
I think the main factor is who you are. Like, for example, someone might have like maybe we can say that a soul can have a specific like strength,
Mm.
and if someone's soul is really strong, both of these forces want it enough to just kind of to deal with it. Like,
All right.
okay, fine, I'll take half because it's better than nothing.
So if you're from this big ass, powerful, noble magic family, and you have
Yeah, we
a
can totally make soul hereditary.
oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Oh
and
yay, we're
then
already playing
which
eugenics.
well,
Fuck
yeah,
yeah.
but then simultaneously, that's chaos is in the world, which means there's going to be the occasional prodigy that comes out of peasant families or some shit.
Yeah, it's gonna it oh god. Yeah, a prodigy coming out of peasant families, but it's fucking chaos. Oh no.
Chaos would be over there like, I did that. I got dibs on his soul.
That is also a thing to talk about because the angels obviously aren't really good or like evil necessarily.
They're
They
not
just
inherently good or evil. It's
except yeah,
we're kind of following the idea that if your purpose is to do something, you're not
yeah.
evil for doing it, even if it's an
It
inherently evil thing to do.
so basically
You
order
would not call the god of murder evil for committing murder, for it is literally what he is the god
exactly.
of.
And like order doesn't really like it doesn't want good. Someone who is orderly isn't necessarily good th- because perfect order would be a caste system. So
Yeah.
the archangel of order does not believe in democracy.
Yeah, no, that that's funny.
Yep. Meanwhile, um the archangel of chaos
Would
would
only
fucking
believe in
despise
anarchism.
tyranny. Yeah, like something like tyranny. If you want, and this is getting slightly into Warhammer territory, but that's just because that's the net like that's the most sensible way of doing it.
Yeah.
If you want someone in power overthrown, you're gonna go to Siege. You're gonna go to the Archangel of Chaos. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna go to the one who's like,
You're gonna
fuck
go to
that
the
guy.
guy who's inherently linked to anarchism.
Yeah. Now something like the sun, moon, and star, like folks, the archangels, their morals may be a little hard to decipher.
Yeah, I was gonna say like they're the kind of people who don't vote.
Yeah,
They don't
because
care.
like, what would the sun consider good? I guess day.
But how do you like equate that to a political system?
Yeah.
And we
Um.
should be a bit careful. We're getting a bit too focused on stuff
No.
that's
Yeah.
not the
It's
focus
just
of the video.
it's just that if someone worships something,
Yeah.
then it's not like worships someone. Then there's gonna be a different idea of like what good and evil is.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do
It's
a
just to nail that.
a like magic and angel. Well, I think an angels episode is definitely
Yeah,
gonna.
absolutely. And in that episode, I would also like for us to like both like maybe name the angels.
Yeah, at least the arc ones, considering
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Obvious. No, God.
we're going to come up with 17,000 names.
That's also
That's also
uh,
something to discuss, like how like we got the archangels, of course, the ones of the actual
yeah,
main forces, but then we also need to discuss how many minor angels are there. Are
yeah.
we
And
talking plephoras or are we talking swaths?
my idea is also that in terms of like when your soul goes somewhere,
Mhm.
that somewhere can do what it wants with your soul,
Oh yeah.
and that might be making it into an angel.
Ooh, yeah, okay.
It might also be for a snack, but that depends on who you are, who you go to, and when you do it.
Which could bring to a segue of what if you sign your soul away to, let's
Mhm.
say, order.
Yeah,
They essentially have claim over your soul. You die, and they then choose to make that soul into an angel.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So basically, we're saying, okay,
What happens
angels.
after death is partially dependent on what form of magic you are
Yeah,
linked to.
yeah, absolutely. And so that is also, yeah, absolutely. That was what I was thinking as well.
In that case,
Um,
I would say something like being a snack, I think should be framed in more of at least for the species, would probably be framed in a more of a contribute to satiating the eternal
yeah,
hunger or some shit like that.
yeah, absolutely. Uh, okay, that still sounds very sinister.
Well, yeah, but it sounds more like you're contributing to a great cause as opposed
Yeah,
to I'm becoming a Tootsie Roll.
it's like
Because I will
join the
say,
great
if
beyond, like
it's the
some
same
shit
way
like
of like,
that.
yeah, it sounds sinister. So does I'm going to bind my soul to the magic of the
Well,
unholy.
yeah.
I don't know what you
The,
mean.
but obviously it's dependent on species as well. Like some of the very deranged species might find honor in being eaten.
Yeah.
uh,
Okay.
yeah.
So we're agreed on the idea of, or at least the foundational idea of, what happens in death
Yes.
is dependent on what you were connected to.
Yeah.
In that case, what would happen if you were a non-magical being?
Yeah. That is the question.
Or if you were a magical being that used the mind as your
Mind or mind or body.
yeah.
Um, if you're an untouched soul, that is the question because I don't know. It could be that you become something akin to a ghost.
Potentially, yeah, ghost.
You wander the world or something.
Perhaps there are some. I mean, it could also be a sort of abstract concept for now.
Yeah,
Because I mean, it would be kind of interesting, the idea of like a species being like, we must not interact with magic, for your soul must remain
yeah,
pure, to get into some holy, like, you ascend or some shit.
yeah. I can imagine like some. I imagine like a specific order of like like mage slayers,
Yeah.
where they completely abstain from magic of all kinds.
Hmm.
That would be pretty cool.
You could also say they reincarnate.
That's true.
The only
Does that?
qualm I would have with that is potentially that would like be you might reincarnate as a beast if, let's say, you were linked to nature or something.
Yeah. But
Because
yeah.
the amount of angels there would be per one would definitely be dependent on like what if they were the kind to use most of the souls they get to create angels.
True.
For example, Divine may really like having a lot of angels, so they use most of the souls, while Unholy instead are just like consume them for power. So they
Yeah.
wouldn't have a lot of angels, but the angels they did have are like much more powerful on average.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose the different forces would probably have also like have other types of servants or such
Mm.
than just angels.
That does bring in the kind of possibility if reincarnation is nature angels deciding to do that, that um all flora is sentient. They're
Well,
all
yeah.
reincarnated
Technically,
minds or souls, which
uh,
that's an interesting concept.
but there is the like we can go the like Hindu route, or rather Buddhist route, where you sure it's your soul, it's your energy, but you don't retain consciousness necessarily. If you're, say, an animal, you don't think like a person.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you're a plant, you don't think like an animal. If you're a rock, you probably don't think much, honestly.
Yeah. Well,
But you still have a
to be fair,
soul.
we don't know what rocks think.
That's true. That's true. They could be very spiritual
They
beings.
could be the next great philosophers.
Maybe they were the past great philosophers. We'll never know.
I mean, yeah. Hail Rocrates.
I stand for democracy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's not Plato, it's Pebble. God.
Fuck off.
Rocrates and Pebble.
Democracy.
I said that before. I guess you
Yeah,
didn't
but I
hear.
didn't hear it properly. Oh, Rocracy.
All hail Rocrates.
Oh, bold air. Fucking, uh,
Okay. So, do we want to keep it there in the sense that death is
yes.
dependent on where you linked your soul, and if you didn't link your soul, then something abstract that is yet to be decided happens?
Sure. Yes.
Because
Let's do that.
I feel like the nature of death is one that should probably be
Yeah.
touched upon a bit more directly.
And obviously,
Maybe not with a full episode, but at least in an episode that is more directly linked.
yeah.
Like in the like maybe we'll do like a spirituality episode or something.
Yeah.
That might be a good episode to discuss dreams and nightmares too.
That is a good idea.
After all, we've got
Depending on how long we need to discuss it.
yeah. I mean, we got a certain Scarlet Man to appease.
Indeed. Indeed.
All right. Well, so that's
Fine.
death.
Death. Yeah, what happens when you die?
Do you want to write that down so that we have it in our
Sure.
document here?
No.
Now, I feel like I should also sort of question the nature of this episode.
What do you mean?
Since we can definitely, like, I'm definitely all for making a few species, but all in all, I feel like we can't make all the species we want before we have more information about the world, which means I would say we can definitely make some species, but I'd say the more important thing we do today is establish a bit of a foundation for creating species.
That is probably true.
Since
Uh,
we have a map, sure, and we have the cosmology, but we ultimately don't know that much about the the ecology, the fucking climate and shit. We haven't discussed that yet, so
that is true.
those do
We
have a big factor.
no.
No.
Oh, can you entertain real quick? Make a joke or
Um.
something.
Man, I have realized recently that this like if I'm put on the spot like that, my brain goes completely blank.
uh,
like like every time you like during stream leave and I have to entertain, like my brain goes just completely empty. Like I am genuinely every time this close to saying, so what's the deal with airline food?
what's the deal with airline food? Oh god, those are good times.
Good times.
Anyway, so
What happens when you die? I don't know.
yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
So, I suppose
On death.
species. Yeah,
Yes, species. Since I
species.
also know for a fact that it's we can't fully do all the species we want in a singular episode, even if we did have all the information.
Well, yeah. But there's also, we don't necessarily need to get into all the details of every species this episode,
Oh yeah, naturally.
because
We
we
can
can
make some ideas.
obviously like something like dragons, which is
Or
one of the first one I'd like to.
whatever our dragon stand-in are.
Yeah. Um, obvious like I like cool dragons,
Yeah,
and I
obviously.
like dragons with a lot of lore.
And I
So
like
therefore, I'm not not
I'm
expecting to
liking
make a whole thing in one like
yeah, that's very
in this
fair.
video.
Meanwhile,
But
I
I'd like to
love
discuss
massive undersea creatures.
indeed, and and those should
Now,
probably also have a lot of explanation.
now, question. I find it very cool when you have that sort of researchers feel about these kinds of things. You know, the makes it the things that make it feel more like an actual um sort of like entry in a species document.
Uh huh.
Mainly, you know how in how every animal in real life has its Latin name.
Yeah.
Do we want to make something similar?
I mean, we can give it a true name if you'd like.
Because I think that is
Um.
because I do think it's very cool that it has like the name that it's given, but then also
Yeah.
the sort of more technical term name.
Yeah, and
The
we can like give it what we can call it whatever we would normally call it in normal speech, and then what the angels would call it.
oh yeah, okay, yeah, it's not the technical
The
term, it's
give
the
like
angelic
yeah
term.
yeah.
In that case, I
It's
guess we're
its true name, and mortals would generally not know that. And I guess maybe if you do, you get some kind of power over it. I don't know. We can
maybe
discuss that later.
we can discuss that later because I do
We,
like the
I like
idea. I do like the idea of it being like the kind of names you would see in like
yeah
a biologist's blog or
yeah,
something.
and
Um,
I like the idea that the general fucking angelic language
yeah.
has has
Case,
power in itself.
in that case, we can try and get the best of both worlds. The actual names are have essentially two. I mean, this is kind of also getting into the angelic language.
Yeah
Um, how about, at least for now, we go with the idea that there is essentially two versions of it, the mortal version and the angelic version. The
yeah
mortal version is one that can be read, written, and pronounced by mortals, while the other one is one that is technically the same, but is written in the angelic font, written in the angelic,
okay.
like with the angelic letters and stuff, and pronounced in a completely different way that is very difficult to wrap a mortal tongue around.
Yeah, Sure.
That way we get both the ability to have ones that are commonplace, though like the mortals know them, while also having ones that could grant you some power by knowing them.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
you're up for that?
Yeah, I'm up for that.
Great. In that case, we are just going to be spouting random words because we don't have any kind of idea
Yeah,
of what
but
that
we can all
language is.
we can we obviously give them the mortal name first
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's relatable and stuff. Like,
Okay, shall we start
yeah,
our first species? Spin the
our
wheel. We
first
already
species.
know where it lands. Dragons. Because I'm nice and I will let you go first.
Yeah, and also I will like they should be some of the oldest creatures, I think, because it's
I mean,
fucking
they're
it's the
they're
point.
I mean, they are massive creatures, which means they're most likely from the
Yeah.
era of chaos and all that.
One thing to start out with is, do we want many dragons or we want like 2 dragons
I
or like
think
something in between?
I think somewhere in between because I don't like the
Yeah.
idea that dragons are commonplace, but
No.
I want more than like Bahamut and Tiamat. I do want
Yeah.
like maybe a dragon for like a selection of dragons.
Yeah. And I like the idea of dragons being tied somehow to cosmological forces.
Mm.
We can I don't know what would work well. Like there's the possibility of just saying, okay, dragons are, I don't know, an elemental construct. Um
I
there's
mean, you
also the
say
possibility of,
cosmological things. Do you mean like the force, the general forces, or do you mean literal cosmological as in celestial?
no, as in the general forces.
Okay.
Like w-
Because
yeah,
remember when you say cosmological, we do have a place literally called the cosmos which is the celestial
that
uh
is true.
area.
Which might make it a bit confusing
Which
that
is why
we called the one where we
we still
called,
have a question mark on that.
yeah.
Which is fair.
So so when I say cosmological, I
You mean
mean
the
everything.
you mean the overbearing forces on the
Yeah,
world.
yeah. Um,
Fair enough.
so there's the possibility of just saying they're like the fucking elementals or some shit.
I like the idea that elementals are. I like elementals a lot. I like dragons a lot, but I like them separate.
Yeah, okay. In that case, there's also, I don't know. Hmm,
We can lean into the idea that they are some of the first or perhaps the
yeah,
only creatures like well, not only creatures, but some of the few creatures to have actually learned how to use the mind to
yeah.
use magic.
In that case, I think sin like I think they would be basically certainly one of the first ones to use everything at once.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think they would be tied by their soul because they're inherently magical.
Yeah.
And they I don't know if you've ever seen a dragon, but they look pretty magical too, so I'd say body as well.
What? No.
What? So so that's also it's cool that they have they have it all. They have it all.
I mean,
Yeah, dragons are omnipotent.
I wouldn't say that every dragon should have access to every bit of magic.
No, that's not what okay.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, so
So they're creatures that are some of the only creatures that are magical in all three aspects at once.
yeah, but they don't, use every form of magic.
Yeah, no. They're magic bodied, magic minded, and magic soul.
Actually, dragons are just actually God.
I know you like dragons, man, but you gotta calm it down.
I worship them. um, we could. Okay, I'm kind of. I like putting them into boxes. I
a
like
weird
putting a dragon in a box.
weird hobbies, but okay.
Yeah. but I'm just unsure which boxes here. You have, if we take a little bit of a look at like other dragons
Yeah.
in fantasy, if we look at D&D, they have these very clear. Okay, we have red dragons, we have blue dragons, we have green dragons, and they correspond with some sort of element.
Yeah.
If you look at World of Warcraft, or rather Warcraft in general,
In general, yeah.
in general, they have they correspond with one of the like gods, if you will, one of the titans. And I like the general system of dividing them like that and determining what they can do and what like how they work with that.
Yeah, okay.
The question is just, do we want to divide by general cosmological force? Like there's a divine dragon and there's a there's an existence no. There's a nature dragon, or is it more specific?
I think more
Maybe
specific.
there's a light dragon.
Yeah, I think it would be more like they are I think they would be more specific, but I don't think there would be one per type.
Possibly not. But then it's like, is it still
Perhaps there's
based
an
on the
order.
type,
Perhaps
or
perhaps there's a species or an order of a part of a different species that look
yeah,
to dragons as they are the guides that show what the purest forms of magic are. That could be cool.
yeah. I think that would be awesome. But
Like,
then there's
oh, do you
also,
wish to use order magic? Foul. There is no
yeah,
order dragon.
yeah. So basically, they in some way, in a way, worship the dragons in a way that if you don't follow this dragon's teachings
Yeah,
or
you
something,
are gonna get
you're
cast out.
unclean. In that case, which ones would there be?
I think we should exclude existence. That's too powerful of a thing, mainly because it's literally the if there were dragons of existence, they would be a bit more notable.
Yeah.
I think the
I
idea
think,
of I think some of the celestial ones would have some good
yeah,
potential for
absolutely.
dragons.
Something like astral. An astral dragon is fucking cool.
Astral. I want a void dragon. Is all I'm saying.
You want absolutely. So astral and void would be cool.
Indeed. Solar dragon. Play Dragon Veil. You know that those look
Oh
cool.
yeah. I mean, we could choose like a few like overall cosmological forces and then say every specific one in those have it, but the others don't.
Okay, in
If we
that
want.
case, how about elemental,
Elemental, yeah,
celestial,
yeah,
and nature?
and nature. Okay, sure.
And then
So there's
if we decide we can do one or two of the ones from
yeah,
unholy and divine.
sure. What the fuck is a fungal dragon gonna be like?
I don't know what you say. I don't know what you're surprised with. That sounds fucking cool. Like a
Yeah.
myconid dragon.
Yeah, that I mean it's we're gonna have to be creative, but it's gonna be
Yeah.
fucking awesome. Okay, so we have nature, celestial, elemental, and then maybe a few others.
Yeah.
Uh
It would be kind of
yeah.
cool to have like a legends of an entropy dragon.
Yeah. Or yeah, that would be cool. Or like
Or Norse
there's
Dormu.
chaos. There's chaos, which I'm fuck off.
I mean, time dragon. I don't know.
I know. Um and I mean you also have Alexstrasza with life.
I feel like we need an order and a chaos dragon because at this
Yeah,
point, the
I think the
overarching.
chaos dragon could be the one in the mountains that
Yeah,
is like
I feel like
it's basically his guard dog.
I feel like so far the overarching narrative of Rising
Yeah.
Dawn is order versus chaos because that's what's
It,
been the
it's
driving force
certainly
of the.
it's certainly two of the very prevalent forces.
Yeah.
I don't think every story is going to revolve around it.
No,
Obviously.
but there's it definitely seems to be the current underlying narrative of how the
Yeah.
world itself was created and how it's formed.
Yeah, it's basically it's the light versus void of the Rising Dawn
Yeah.
universe.
So I feel
So we
like
have those.
I feel like do we want to like okay. I mean,
I want to see them fight.
yeah, I do too.
See them fight, bro.
Bro, we need money to commission this shit, dude. The inherent human like will of wanting to see your world building creatures in an all out battle.
Yeah, fuck.
Um
The male fantasy of power scaling.
look, I will say like anyone who goes around and says power scaling is stupid, I will agree with you, but I will simultaneously say that enjoying power scaling, I'm not going to pretend like it isn't essentially enjoying bashing action figures together.
Yeah,
Um
no, that's exactly what it is, but
but
there's a
it's
reason we like to do
fun.
it. It's
like
like, okay,
like the people who are like I don't like power scaling and I think it's stupid. I'm just like, well, more fun for me. I have fun with it. You
yeah,
don't have to.
it's like, bro, it's a natural instinct to power scale. Like you would think like I could take a bear.
You'd be wrong, but
That's power scaling.
that's the
Yeah, but
inherent
it's an
human
attempt.
form.
It's yeah. Anyway, I think order and chaos, and then nature, celestial, elemental
Yeah,
stuff.
that sounds good.
Nice. Okay,
Should we
so
have some types of dragons? Do you? I feel like writing that down would probably be good.
yes, um, dragons.
Now, big thing. They are dragons for all intents and purposes, but do we want to call them that?
Um, I mean, I think the name dragon should be a thing for them. It doesn't have to be the only name for them.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Um,
Question is then what the name would be if not dragon. Which I guess
mhm.
if we have dragon be the let's say I guess what would like we have the angelic name in angelic language, we have the angelic
Yeah,
name in mortal language, and then we have the name that is sort of almost like
yeah.
well
I mean,
what would that be called, like the given name, the
yeah, the true like true name.
well, the true name is the angelic name
Oh yeah,
in
right. Yeah,
it's the name that is like the one that most mortals would know. It's the
yeah.
equivalent
Okay,
of
the common
it's
name.
the equivalent of human is the the given name of Homo sapien. I don't.
Yeah. Uh, I guess the common name.
Yeah, common name that works. No need to
And
get
for
too
them,
deep
I
with it.
guess dragon.
I mean, I feel like it should definitely be linked to the to like what they are, like how the Latin
Yeah.
names are. In that case, could it
There's
be some
also
like magic flyers or some shit like that?
um, we could certainly do that. There
Winged
is
mages?
there is the fact that they don't. Someone in the low, like the fucking desert part, that in the low right part,
Hmm.
probably does like if there's one dragon there, they probably don't know about all the other dragons existing, so they might not have the concept that there are multiple of these things.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
no.
so it's also a matter of who are we talking about? Who's calling them something?
Yeah.
I guess dragons would be like the umbrella term.
Well, yeah, that's the common name.
Yeah, and so
The
I think
angelic name doesn't
magic
have
fire.
to be the one, doesn't have to be from the perspective of someone who wouldn't know the whole story.
Yeah,
And it's the one
that's true.
by the angels, and they have literally the whole story.
Yeah. So I guess something like magic fire. Yeah.
Winged
Uh,
mages, flying scholars, flying
The Firstborn?
First, that I mean, I like the name. I just don't know that kind of puts a lot of emphasis on writing stuff that make like that's a very heavy name. It's
Bro,
a
have you
very
tried lifting a dragon?
it is a very it's a name
That's
that
fair.
carries a lot of weight within their purpose and past existence.
That is true. Hmm.
I mean, in my wider universe, I had things called aspect drakes. We could do like aspect flyers or something like that.
We could not do aspect flyers for dragons.
Then what? What would that be?
Because,
Why?
because the dragons in Warcraft are called aspects.
Ah, okay.
So we might not want to do that.
I mean, to be fair, they like. Oh wow, they're called the aspects because they're the aspects of nature. Fucking well done, Blizzard.
Yeah,
You created a masterpiece.
but like if we accidentally call like i- at some point down the road say like the dragon aspects, no.
Okay, fine.
um we can do something very akin to it.
Hmm.
uh
Any ideas you like?
oh, I don't like world building. I don't.
Why are you here?
Oh no.
You dragged me here. I don't.
Yeah, you tied me to my chair.
And
Um,
then left.
don't don't mind that I'm the one who pitched the idea.
Yeah, like don't mind that, and also fucking don't mind the fact that I'm not there with you. So I tied you to the chair and then
Yeah, you
left.
left me here. I mean, yeah, it would sound weird if we were going through the same mic, I guess.
Yeah, it would.
Anyway, oh, good names for dragons.
Well, it's more
Um,
like well, we have dragon. It's not so much good names for dragons, so much as what 2 or 3 or whatever amount of words do we want uh dragon to be
yeah,
in like spoken
like
in
divine
the
spirits.
whoa, that no can't be divine.
What?
That's
Oh no 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 no!
it
Uh,
we can't
great,
great
great spirit.
spirits. Nah, that sounds too much like that essentially keeps us away from making literal great spirits,
Fuck. Uh,
which we
uh,
definitely want to.
uh, ch-
I mean,
children of, uh,
we were on the idea of something more direct, like the like winged mages
yeah.
or magic flyers or whatever.
Hmm.
It's not the most like because the thing is, they may not be the most like beautiful names, but they aren't inherently meant to be. They are
I mean, that's
literally
true.
the descriptor names that the angels
That's
came up
true.
with.
That's true. I just like pretty names.
I mean,
Okay.
we can very much give them pretty names, and I'm not at all against that. That just means we have to come up with a lot of pretty names, which
True.
is going to be a
Granted,
lot
I guess
harder.
I guess pretty names for things might also just be something that mortals decide. Like
Yeah.
someone like elves might call them something like,
Yeah, like
I don't know.
children of of nature's forces or some
Yeah.
shit. I don't know, not nature's. Um,
Well, it depends on
yeah, sure.
what elves are like.
But I won't deny that the idea of an angel essentially to like do like the brief like say the name to gain
Yeah.
command or something, saying like children of nature and it
Yeah.
like in the angelic language does is a cool visual,
That is pretty cool.
but it's gonna make coming up with names a lot harder.
Yeah.
I'm not
Okay.
against it,
So
but it's something we're gonna have to decide now. Cool names or technical names?
we can do technical names. I think maybe maybe technical names that sounds slightly not goofy.
Okay, yeah.
Winged mages is fine. Like I don't know what was the first one.
Magic flyers.
Magic flyers. That's a little bit
That's
much.
that's the letters to Hogwarts. Magic flyers.
Magic flyers. So something like winged mages.
I like that. Winged mages or
Yeah.
winged scholars?
Oh.
Because we are sort of playing into the
The mind thing.
the dragons are the mind. They are the the whole thing that D&D does not really do a
Yeah.
lot of, which is that dragons are supposedly ridiculously intelligent.
Yeah. So I think winged scholars is a very good one actually.
Excellent.
And then some mortal race might call them like the first mages or some shit.
Yeah.
Like to each other. But winged scholars.
All right.
So
We have our first name.
scholars.
What would that be in angelic then? Which also leads
I don't know.
to
I don't know the language.
which would then lead to, do we want like the simple task of making a language, which is literally just translating English into angelic words, or do we want a difficult task of creating a language, which is like compound words or like combinations of words are spoken differently or written differently and all that?
I think the other one we'd have to create an entire language.
Well, yeah,
And
that's what
I'm
I'm saying.
down for doing that. But that doesn't help us right now. Obviously, we can just wait with giving them angelic names until then.
But right now, I'm more going with like what I'm thinking now is do we want like we need to establish that, because that kind of depends on how we're writing because I feel like right now we're not writing the actual thing because we also need the letters for it.
Yeah,
right now we're writing what would essentially be the attempted
pronunciation.
Yeah, the pretended pronunciation in mortal script.
Yeah. Sure.
And the thing that kind of requires us to know about that question I asked is if, because in that case, if at some point we create a different creature that has winged in the name, it would need to have that part of the pronunciation in it. But if we go with the complete new language, then we can be completely unique with every single name.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I like the idea of us eventually making a language so we can.
Then I'm down for that. That's a big ask, but hey,
going full Tolkien on this.
It's a big ask, but hey, I mean, the Worldbuilding podcast was expected to go for like 100 episodes plus.
Yep.
So,
the pronunciation.
You're the one who likes dragons, so I'll give you the honor of choosing that. Vladimir.
No, Vladimir. Also soft D. And roll the R.
Ah, we're making it impossible for Americans to say. Fantastic.
Yes, Vladimir.
The next the next creature. Roll me flöte.
Love you. What do we want? Scholars.
Well, it can also be one word if you want.
Nah.
Okay.
Lastaros.
Ooh.
Vladimir Lastaros.
I like it. Vladimir Lastaros. Ooh.
You did a hard D. Fuck you.
Vladimir?
Yeah. Vladimir
Lastaros.
Yeah.
Ooh. Sounds crisp.
Now you're cooking with Danish.
Now you're cooking with Danish.
Okay. Fucking. Was that demonic? No, it's just Danish.
Yeah, a genuine question of like, no, that's just Danish. Oh.
Okay. Now we have. I think that's a fine place to leave dragons for now.
Yeah, they're gonna become more important at some other point.
Yeah. Now, do you want to pull through on an idea real quick before I go off on a tangent?
No, go ahead. Go on a tangent.
So, how about um, you know how magic was stolen from the gods and put into the world?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how about when n- the forces of nature discovered this? They created a species specifically to find like the core points of these things, the places where they converge
Yeah.
and spill into the world, and basically guard them, make sure no one else
Hmm.
unwanted gets near them. Perhaps they gave them the ability to hear the magic in the world,
Yeah.
shaping their ears in a more triangular, sharp shape than
Okay.
humans, and perhaps they would eventually become known as elves. Hmm?
Hmm.
Hmm?
See,
Hmm?
I really like the idea that the ones that were at the core points were more like this universe's versions of elementals.
Ah,
The idea that it's these like inanimate beings brought to life by the very forces that they exist to guard.
hmm. Okay. Okay.
We could theoretically try to combine those with the idea
Yeah.
that the elementals came about naturally, or perhaps
Yeah.
through the work of the elemental one deciding, fuck it, I'm gonna just send some out, uh,
Yeah.
and see if they can harness the power of the other domains.
Yeah.
And then the elves are instead ones that essentially view these elementals as these higher spiritual
Yeah.
beings, since
I
they
think.
essentially are the literal core point of what their whole like species purpose is to do.
Yeah. I like the idea that they have the elementals, which are basically their like demigods.
Yeah,
That's how they view them. And they themselves are like more of more like the servants and
yeah.
like
It also allows us
outward
to
defense
make
maybe
it
instead
also
of right at the core.
it also allows us to actually make elves that have a bit more normalcy, as opposed to them being forced into the, oh, they are the
Yeah.
guardian role.
Now, if this was the case, that okay, I suppose the elementals are trying to harness these powers. What if the elves don't know that, and they think that they're supposed to make sure no one uses those powers? And so, my magic by the mind is banned in elven culture.
Ooh, okay.
Because usually, we talked about previously that perhaps magic, like soul magic, would be like taboo in most cultures.
Yeah, I mean, we
Maybe
we
it's
kind of
the
discussed that
opposite
soul
for elves.
magic is more powerful, but you kind of have to give up a lot. Mind
Yeah,
magic is more versatile, but not as powerful. And mind of the body is, well, a bad idea.
hot. Oh, and yeah. So what if with elves kind of switch it up and say, so like tying yourself, you're only pure if you tie yourself to the plane. Otherwise, you're perverting the magic.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Although I do like the idea that even if it wasn't the case in the beginning, the elves and the elementals have a form of kinship. I think that could be cool.
Yeah. No,
The
I
elementals don't
totally.
let anyone approach the cores except for the elves. It's
Yeah.
like
They.
there's this cool rite of coming of age that you have to approach the elemental and have it
It
gaze
judges
upon
you.
you or something.
Yeah. I'm into it.
Fantastic.
So, if we start with an entry on the elves, or do you want to start with the
We
elementals?
can start with the elves. I don't mind.
Elves. Um, Maybe
Now that's one where I think we should probably have a different name for them so we can distinguish ourselves a bit.
fair.
I mean, we have already tried to make a essentially equivalent of elves in a different world where we just called them essentially superiors
Yeah, that's true.
because they named themselves that.
Uh,
So what would we want to here?
okay, so what do?
They guard
they
the
guard
cores and
these
the
cores.
elementals. Not that the elementals really need guarding, but they,
I don't know, but help is always appreciated.
yeah, help is always appreciated. They are very spiritual in nature, by nature. They
Yeah.
were created by nature directly.
I mean, we could lean into the whole pure thing.
It could be called the
Them being
pureborn.
Pureborn? Pureborn. There's highborn, but that's
Also allows us to continue the forever going stereotype of all elf and elf counterparts see themselves as superior.
yeah. But that's just standard fantasy. You have to have that.
Yeah.
So there's pureborn, there's highborn, though that one might be slightly infringing.
Yeah. We can always say that there are multiple kinds of elves if you want to go the D&D route.
Yeah.
That there are different varieties, because there could be a different form of elf depending on like which which elemental
where
they
settle,
reside.
like either the elemental or the place they're guarding, or both.
Yeah, they could like it could be like blank born, like they are like the name of the angelic name of the thing born.
Oh, and even though they came from nature, they don't necessarily maybe tie themselves to nature. They tie themselves to whatever the like elemental
they're like
place.
Thank you. They're like the thank you parent, but I must do my own thing.
They're rebellious children.
They're rebellious children, yeah. But I like that. I like that.
Okay.
In that case, do we say that the species as a whole are called the pureborn, and then they have a name?
Yeah, pureborn. Yeah.
And then each of them have a different name depending on the on where they settle.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, anything you want to add to it?
Appearance wise, because we didn't really discuss appearance wise with dragons, since I kind of assume we're good with dragons and like the ones that are more like not a numerous species. We can get a bit more specific. But for the more like civilized species, you know, the human stand-ins, the elf stand-ins, the dwarf stand-ins, whatever. A foundation for how they look would probably be good.
Absolutely.
Like some traits. Like, are we going with the typical pointy ears, or are we going in a completely different route from the standard elf appearance?
I personally prefer having the pointy ears.
Okay.
For one, to make it clear that these are our version of elves.
How about we do that the tips of the ears are tinted the color of their corresponding element? Sure.
And also, there was the thing I mentioned of they hear the magic.
Yeah, so having
like,
the
yeah.
So having the ears sort of show off which type of magic they're most attuned to hearing would make sense.
Yeah. And basically, I think they if they're hearing the magic, like the sound gets stronger. Like they physically hear it more when they get closer to it.
Yeah. Ooh, maybe
So
that's how
that's how we find these places.
the coming of age ritual is. They approach the elemental, and then that's how they get their the mark on their ears.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
And then
And
then that also leads to the potential of a story of one who gets a mark for a completely different region and has to then go on a pilgrimage
oh
or some
dear.
shit.
And then what if that's how the elemental speaks to them?
Ooh, yeah.
That's through these magic strings,
They speak
basically.
they speak in to others, they speak in gestures, to the pureborn they speak in sort of
Yeah,
not in words, but like with like mental projections almost.
yeah.
That could be very cool, yeah. They can and then through that the elementals can also understand them, at least to a degree.
I think that's awesome.
I think that's really cool, yeah.
Um, yeah, I think I'll just leave it there. We can
Hmm.
work further
So
on it
yeah,
after.
so
Um,
tinted ear tips. Any other traits we want to give them?
I think
Are they usually tall? Are they usually average size, like heighted? Are we talking like
hmm,
like
maybe that. hmm,
basic like bodily traits is I feel like a good thing to get down.
Yeah. Huh. That is the question. There's the usual is that they're taller, I guess.
Lankier.
Um, yeah. I think going with the Slithe build is like Lithe build is a good idea, but we don't necessarily need to make them taller.
Yeah, I like the
Um,
live build, but would there be a reason for that? Like how there's a reason they have like their ears are different.
hmm. I suppose they're in essence more than guardians. They're actually scouts because they had to find these places.
Yeah, they're scouts by nature, guardians by livelihood.
Yeah. So maybe that's why.
Considering they also don't exactly, compared to the elementals they guard, they themselves are quite weak. I mean,
Yeah.
they're protecting demigods of protection. Um,
Yeah.
so they're probably more like the ones that go and alert the elementals that something is coming.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. And like if there's like a few people like they can shoot them
Yeah,
and shit.
but
But
but if we're talking like a
the
full
final
on,
boss is the elemental.
yeah, if we're talking like a full-on army is coming, they wouldn't start like, sure, they may shoot some arrow volleys, but all in all I
Yeah.
think they would probably go and say, hey, elemental of fire, do you mind? It would stand up and just shoot a fucking pure like magma beam in the direction
Yeah.
that would obliterate the army or some shit like that.
I also realized that this gives us a lot to work with like how using the other magics impacts the elemental.
Ooh, yeah. Ah,
Like a
yeah.
fucking oh my god, like a fire and I don't know, death elemental
Yeah. I
would look
also
fucking wild.
it also gives a lot to work with because the elves would have to adapt to whatever the conditions
Yeah,
of the spot would be. So like
yeah,
let's say a wind, like a one that's in the sky, like a wind one, right?
yeah,
Um an air one, that one would likely not be on the ground. It would be up
yeah,
in an area that may have like some tall trees. So they
yes,
would create a wind society that would then be like they would create a society up in the treetops,
yeah,
which also immediately links to, in that case, the elemental, instead of looking like a typical one, would probably be like a literal mass of wind. There's a lot
yeah,
to
pretty,
it gives
pretty
us a
much.
lot to work with, both with how they used it, how they look, and everything really.
Also, I think there should be like few of these places so that we can have a very clear list of all of these like big
Yeah,
guy
yeah. At
elementals
least I think we
and
should have
name them.
few of the major ones. Then there are maybe
Yeah,
like smaller ones that
yeah,
have
but
smaller.
but
'Cause
like the big ones, because I like the idea of like
yeah,
um
there's like one, maybe two of certain kinds of
yeah,
each of the main forces, like the each of the
yeah,
archangel forces, and as I'll call them.
because I like the idea that maybe an air and death elemental had like the title the wind of death or some shit.
Yeah. Okay, so you're saying that some of them would be combined?
Well, that's the idea. Like they're elementals from the elemental forces that have like that have
Ah,
used the
yeah. Okay.
power
Yeah, that's true.
of
Yeah.
these cores. So that's what I mean by how that would affect them.
Hmm.
Because what the fuck does someone who is born of fire but like has used a
Born of
bunch of chaos magic do
born
that?
of fire, but has used a bunch of fungi magic.
Yeah, fucking used a bunch of flora magic. It's the burning bush.
That's just God. Uh,
Yeah,
Meanwhile, we have the chosen of the eternal flame, which is fire and solar.
yeah.
That one's just,
Oh,
you can't look in its direction or you immediately go
yeah.
blind.
It's just well, would that be solar and then or would it be light?
True, yeah.
Just actual light.
But that is gonna make us sad in some instances, because it's gonna have to force us to choose which of the elemental
Yeah,
types to combine with the others.
that's true. But it's also awesome to
But
do it.
yeah, it's awesome to do it, and if we have some really good ideas, there's nothing stopping us from saying, "Hey, this one has two."
Yeah, that's true.
It's our world. We can do what the fuck we want. All
uh,
right, so elves. Sharp live can hear magic. Yeah. Um, Live in societies primarily around the main fonts of magic.
yep.
But there are also smaller societies around the lesser fonts.
But we agree that like all basically all the w- societies with some actual mass or power would be around some kind of font,
But
right?
yeah, we agree that
Is it
like
literally their
the,
purpose?
yeah, it doesn't matter, like, if it doesn't matter how big the society is. If they are
Yeah.
just them, they would be around a font, because why
Now,
that's
now
there would of
I
course
like
be
the
some
idea.
free walking pureborn
Yeah,
that like pilgrimage around the place.
but I like the idea of having a story about an elf who or a pureborn who left, but now has to live without the like the music of the core they
Yeah.
correspond with.
Yeah, I do think that would be a good, because yeah, I do think it should be sort of a thing that they also derive a sense of enjoyment
Yeah,
of calm, of peace from that
yeah.
sound.
I also think that muse like their whole thing being hearing magic would probably give them a pretty like musical culture.
Yeah, they would definitely.
Like there would
They
be a
would.
lot of music and like
Yeah.
performance
I also,
with it.
okay. How about um they can hear, at least if they're close enough to hear the magic of, let's say, their main font here, right?
Yeah,
Let's in that shall we? An idea I just had is the magic, like the font is the instrumental.
yeah,
The elemental is the sound on top of the instrumental. It's like the not lyrics, because it's not saying anything, but the equivalent of like a choir or some shit.
yeah,
And they
yeah,
can hear if it's in, like, if there's maybe like, if, like, let's say the entirety of the society decides to go somewhere, they'd be able to hear if the elemental is in battle, because the choir would suddenly start
yeah,
being disrupted.
yeah. I like the idea of that. Now I'm also I'm imagining, first of all, the story of a society of elves that lost their guardian,
Mm.
like having to suddenly figure out how to exist in the world without it.
Yeah.
I'm also imagining that a lot of elves that leave would probably become bards
Yeah.
because they're trying to replicate the
They would
like the song and like put it back
they
into
would
their
probably they
lives.
would most commonly be bards or use yeah, they would become bards or generally some kind of magic user, if not bards, because they are very
Yeah,
magically attuned. And if not, then they would use their inherent scout like build to become like rangers or some shit like
yeah.
that. So essentially
We would just hear them
every
humming
fucking
in the
elf
woods,
ever.
like. Mhm, mm.
Yeah. Oh, we've got Pureborn in the area.
Oh my god, that would just you have like these myths of starting to hear humming all around in the woods, and that's like the idea that's when rangers are approaching.
Yeah.
you start you start hearing them from it's the trees are speaking Vietnamese. It's
Oh my god! And oh my god, I can imagine that like some of depending on which font they're guarding, they would probably be a bit different in how they receive outsiders and stuff like that.
absolutely.
Imagine you're approaching the deaf font, right?
Yeah,
And you hear while walking through the woods, you just hear the death whistle from Puss in
yeah.
Boots.
Oh god. And with the death one, I enjoy that it's like it's only one like there's only one song thing, and it sounds really sad, kind of,
Yeah,
or like scary to some degree, because it's low, like it's this lonely voice that's just
yeah.
drifting.
But the
Okay,
idea of like death, just you were in like you're approaching the font of death, and then all of a sudden you hear that like low whisper, and and you just like you put up a hand and go like, everyone quiet. They know we're
yeah,
here.
yeah,
It's the
and I
good.
al-
It's perfect, especially in my opinion, because I have always considered some of the greatest horror to come from the unintentional, which is
yeah,
the Skyrim detected. Like I think that is a very underutilized mechanic because I have always considered the idea of maybe a horror game literally telling you are not alone.
yeah.
Like just the sudden detected scared me a lot when I was playing back in the day. So the idea of just like suddenly hearing that and thinking, well, that means they've spotted us.
The Song of Death.
It's like when you read the PDA entry to the Reaper Leviathan and it says if you can hear it, it can see you.
Yeah. Ooh.
Right. That is
God.
beautiful.
Wonderful. So then there's the elemental guardians.
Indeed.
What is going to be the name for those? Well, there's also what's the name for the pureborn?
True. Okay, we have
I think
Pureborn.
I think maybe pureborn in general should be the like one of the words, and then we put another word on it for the specific kind, maybe.
Okay, as
Like
in
like how
I
yeah, like
thought
how you
I
have
thought the
different
idea
kinds.
I thought the idea was that the species as a whole is called pureborn, but their
Yeah.
individual names is blank born.
Oh, well, sure thing.
I mean, and no,
We can do
like you
that
don't have
too.
to say sure. Like, what do you think is best?
No, nah,
Because like
no.
because that's what my idea was originally,
Okay.
but I'm fine with the other idea too. It's the idea that the
Mm,
species as a whole are called pureborn, but then if let's say they're fire, we go like just as an
they're
example,
fireborn.
they're fireborn or like ignum born or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But
I
it could also
mean,
be the ignum pureborn or pureborn ignum. That could also be cool.
there's it's the question of common versus celestial in this case, because I'm thinking um with pureborn in general, you would have something you would maybe just say like uh it's like how you have homo and Homo sapiens, and then you
Oh yeah,
have
yeah.
Homo erectus. Um,
Don't giggle.
so that's what I was thinking in terms of the celestial part.
Hmm.
The common tongue is I don't have any particular thought about
Okay,
at the moment.
because I figured that like pureborn, that's the general name,
Yeah,
and then it would be whatever they're corresponded with born
yeah,
um for the more specific kind.
we can totally do that.
Also gives a
We also
very
need.
open opportunity for racism. It's like, oh, you're
but
just a
but
pureborn, ignumborn. Actually, could you get it right?
voidborn. Wait. What's the what's it also depends what's the celestial like descriptor for them, because that could just be the one where we have something like Homo erectus, Homo sapiens and shit,
Yeah.
where they're called something in two words and then the last word is the one that keeps going.
Maybe it could be scout of
Yeah.
insert thing. That's
So
very on the nose, but maybe that's what we need.
yeah. So in that case, my
To be
idea
fair,
would
the
be
dragons
calling
are the
the
winged scholars, so
yeah. So in that case, my idea would be calling the pureborn in general scouts, and then the individual ones like flame scout or stuff.
would we do flame scout, fire scout, those things, or scout of flame,
Scout of
scout of
that works just better probably.
yeah, I think it has more because I think if we go with the one that doesn't where we don't need to suddenly go over to the other side, because like wind scout, fire scout, void scout, that yeah, I do think the other one works a bit better.
So there,
Yeah, scout
scout
of
of
X.
X.
In terms of
Uh,
the angel tongue,
uh fuck.
uh,
Um,
maybe
la, 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 la.
scorus,
Scores.
based on like scouring.
Yeah, Scorus. And
Um,
then whatever comes after, like
yeah,
Scorus X.
with scorus X and like the individual things, but with like as to denominate of or some shit like some
Or
like add some kind of
yeah,
suffix that that would indicate that it's scout of, not just scout fire.
Neil.
I mean, we can just go with an example and then figure out which one sounds
Yeah.
best when we have the actual names
Um,
for the individual ones.
I mean, an example like um, of Flameborn or an Ignisborn would be like Scorus Ignil.
Yeah,
So
I like ill. I like ill.
so the suffix is il.
Yeah.
Kim Jong Il.
No.
To be fair, the first one was Kim Jong Un.
Next up, we got Kim Jong
um. Okay, so
Okay, now we got
the Guardians.
the Guardians.
What do we want to call those?
I mean, theoretically, nothing is wrong with using elementals.
Yeah. Elemental Guardian.
Since they are
Because
made by the elemental
yeah,
arc, so
because like there's probably gonna be other elementals as well.
yeah, because
It's,
then we can do a sort of similar naming convention
yeah,
of like either guardian or elemental of, and then insert
yeah.
the thing that it's tied to. But then they would definitely also have like an actual name attached as opposed to just their species name.
Well, yeah. Like I think the specific ones have very unique names, I think.
Yeah,
And
but they would
the
definitely
big
also.
ones probably have titles as
But
well.
the same. Well, to be fair, it's probably the same for the dragons. So
Yeah,
they would have very specific names, but they would also have their species name.
yeah. Okay, so elemental guardians. Should we talk a bit more about them?
Yeah, okay. They are. Yeah, they find cores. They find the fonts of magic. Whatever they do.
Yeah. Uh,
They okay. I feel like a good question is what they do when they die, because I had the idea that since the death of one would be quite the major thing, it would take a while, but they since they don't have souls, they don't have
yeah,
mind. They don't have like they have mind. They have like a type of mind, but it's a bit of a different kind.
yeah,
Um, they would be the ultimate in magic of body.
yeah, yeah,
And I think if they were to, let's say they die, let's say one of them is defeated,
yeah.
the magic that had sort of collected within them, uh,
Yes,
that had binded with their elemental inherent magic,
yes.
would sort of have formed an almost sort of substitute soul that would travel to the nearest, either to the font of the elemental and reform
Okay.
itself over the course of maybe a decade or something.
Yeah. So you're thinking essentially the core works as a phylactery.
Yeah, they would go back there and then reform themselves over a long period of time.
Yeah.
Hence why it's also, which would also give yet another reason for why the pureborn would stick around, because if ever it is defeated, they now are the ones defending the font.
Yeah. For a while at least.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, naturally,
but
this wouldn't have happened a lot of times, considering how goddamn powerful
yeah.
they are. But it
And there's also an entire society of pureborn to get through to get there.
I mean, okay, I feel like in that case we can immediately go with some power scaling. Where do they lie in comparison to, say, dragons?
See, this is where you and I are gonna have differing opinions.
Which I suppose we can quell with a simple decision of roughly equal.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the smaller um elementals might be weaker than the bigger dragons,
But
and
the
the
but
bigger elementals might be stronger than the smaller dragons. The
yeah,
the big ones of each.
probably about equal, because
Yeah.
one side has
Okay.
magic from more sources, both mind, both body,
Yeah.
both, but the elementals are quite literally it's the Obi-Wan is the master of the defensive
Yeah.
arts.
I
They
I
are.
think one thing to do is with it is also probably an elemental of that size that isn't bound to a core would probably lose to a dragon.
Yeah,
But being bound to a core makes them immensely more powerful
yeah,
because now they're, mixing shit up.
indeed.
Uh,
And
They're wielding magic
yeah,
never seen before.
but in that sense, it is also it also is a bit of a versatility versus pure power
Yeah,
sort of thing. The
that's true.
dragons have more sources of power, more in like more versatility in that sense, but
Yeah,
in terms of pure force and power of the magic, the elementals win because they are pure beings of that.
yeah, yeah.
So we can agree on that. See, that wasn't that bad.
So upon death, respawn after like 10 years.
After and like a decade or so, 10 years,
Like
something.
it's something. Um, yeah. So they this that.
As for their general, like how they like okay, how like when talking about size,
Yeah.
how big?
Well, anyway.
Because
Um,
is it about as strong as a dragon of equal size? I don't know
yeah.
if I would inherently agree that they would be equal sizes, because I would feel like let's say a earthern elemental of the planetary
Yeah.
would be fucking gigantic, while a let's say air elemental of flora would probably not be that large.
That's fair. So equal
I feel like
level.
yeah, level. Yeah, I feel like that's a good one.
And in terms of how big, dragons pretty big, but
I feel like we should write
obvious.
that down up by the dragon section. What we
Yeah,
envision for their size.
dragons are pretty big.
Well,
But I mean,
elementals vary.
vary, and obviously dragons also vary
Yeah,
because yeah,
but not as much as literal beings sculpted from fundamental forces.
yeah. There, okay,
Perfect. Now, as for general, like, what they spend their time doing,
yes,
what are we thinking? Are we thinking a sort of because the idea I had is that they essentially sort of sleep pretty much
yeah.
all the time. They spend most of the time in a state of slumber.
I I might. Oh, oh.
Oh well,
I
go
like
on then.
that. And then have this idea that the elves or the pureblood born, blah, 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 the
Yeah.
pureborn, when they go to sleep, they envision its dreams.
Oh yeah, okay, I like that.
So can you write the part on the down there and I'll write up here.
Yeah, sure.
Um,
Um, but yeah, and then I'm thinking, they only really wake up if they are alerted by the pureborn or by outside stimuli.
yeah. Outside stimuli, eh?
Ooh.
Oh. All right.
Because I do have the idea of like this large like earthen elemental sort of slumped over in front of the font, and then like
Yeah.
one of the pureborn like gives it the warning, and just like the thing that would be its face just sort of activates, like lights up
Yeah.
as it gets ready to defend its homeland.
That's a big statue. Wait.
It's not a statue. That's a large statue. It's moving.
All right. So, elemental guardians. What 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 would God call them?
That is the question at this point. What would God call them? I mean, we could go with simplistic with like literal like uh guardum.
Guard Guard
But
'em.
that sounds a bit goofy.
Yeah. Hmm. I mean,
What
what's the
about
name?
the defenrum?
Defenrum. So I guess from defender.
Yeah,
Uh, of X.
yeah, defender of X. Defenrum blank ill, or not, maybe not ill in this case. Maybe it.
Well, we've somewhat established
Yeah.
ill as of.
Okay. In that case, yeah. Defenrum or defenral. Yeah, defenrum. Blank
X.
ill.
Yeah. All right.
Defenrum ignil.
Yes. All right. Awesome. So now we have big guys, little guys, and big guys.
Indeed. Do you have any? What's the next you want to make? I feel like
All right.
you definitely. I have a select, very specific ideas of things I want. I feel like you probably have a lot more general ideas, because
To be fair,
I like go big or go home.
yeah. To be fair, the two that I put the most thought into prior to the recording was dragons and elves, because those are my favorite fucking things.
Yeah, fair.
Uh,
Do we
there are
do we want to
obviously
rip the band-aid off and create our human substitutes?
humans. Sure.
Okay.
Do we just want to call them humans?
I
It might be good for marketing purposes.
yeah, all right, we can call them humans.
Humans. Yeah.
The question is then what their angelic name would be.
Oh god. And that probably depends on what they do and how
Yeah.
they came to be.
Have we
So-
discussed humans before?
No, I don't think so. I don't remember it.
If we
did.
have, we have not written it down, which I'm gonna say hopefully means we haven't.
So I think that you should do a little bit of thinking on humans while I get water.
All right. Humans. I mean, I feel like a good grasp to focus on would probably our nature to adapt, versatility. Versatility, I feel like that is also kind of cliche, but considering we're literally calling them fair, I think. Is there, like, what is there to say about humans?
All right, so tell me about humans.
All right, so I figured a good thing to sort of latch on to, even if it is
Yeah.
a tad cliche to what to like how humans are portrayed, is to sort of connect with our ability to adapt and be versatile compared
Yeah.
to other species which have more focus on other things as opposed to the capability of adapting.
Right. Okay. Adapt.
I don't mind being a very human core in this.
No, that's fine.
I prefer things that are which I'm about to say that, which is ironic because I love Warhammer.
Yeah.
But I like things where humans are seen as a powerful type thing, even if they are seen as annoying as well.
Yeah.
Like, for example, one of my favorite things about one of my favorite excerpts from something D&D related, I don't remember what it was, is if a elf decides they want to change the world, they might change a region or two. If a human decides to change the world, they change the universe.
That's fair. I mean, I think there's also the idea that if an elf decides to change the world, it'll happen in a few hundred decades. If a human decides to change the world, it's happening tomorrow.
Yeah, it's happening now. Yeah. Actually, one thing we should probably discuss: lifespan.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, do we want to go through all of them?
Yeah, I feel. Well, the thing is, I feel like for both dragons and the elemental guardians, they are
Yeah.
kind of timeless. At the
I'll
very
just
least, the
agree.
elemental guardians are timeless.
Yeah, so lifespan basically immortal.
Yeah, the dragons may have a theoretical
Yeah,
age
because I think
limit.
those get like I think they breed and they make children, so I think they also kind of have to maybe die
Yeah.
eventually, or at least get
Meanwhile, the
rebred.
guardians are quite literally timeless.
Mm.
They even if their mind degraded, they spend most of their time without their mind active, and they don't have
Plus,
a
they
mind. So
respawn.
yeah, they respawn, and it is the same. It is the same elemental that respawns after all. So
Yeah. Now,
the pureborn,
pureborn.
that's the interesting one.
I like long-lived
Well, yeah,
like elf.
I feel we had already sort of thought about that. They were
Yeah.
long lived. How long lived is the question.
How long-lived? There's
Do we want to
there's
go in the hundreds, in the thousands, or in the in all intent for all intents and purposes immortal but can be killed?
I think
I would prefer to stay away from the final option because I do
yeah.
like the fact that they can die from age. It's not an impossibility.
I have an idea.
Okay.
because I think for most of them it would probably be either in the very high hundreds or the low thousands.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but let's say they were at a core that convulsed life,
Ooh, yeah, they would live
then they're
longer.
probably not gonna die very easily.
Yeah, no,
Um,
then they would definitely have longer lifespans. While the ones
so
near
maybe,
death uh probably don't have as long lifespans.
yeah. So normally,
Or maybe they gain more lifespan by killing.
oh god, that's dark.
Oh no.
But that does give incentive for oh my god, that's the true card.
Oh no.
Just with death instead of torture, which there are still arguably, not
Yeah.
arguably, they're just actually less bad than the
Yeah.
Drukari. So normally, let's say like 1,000 years.
Yeah, let's put the baseline at 1,000. I like that.
Um, may vary with um environment
Hmm.
and lifestyle. What's up?
What?
You said
No, I was just looking at someone else. I was
oh.
looking at like some elf ages in other media.
Oh, I thought you were about to say I was looking at Elf Rule 34.
I mean, you gotta see
I
the
was really
parts.
contemplating the
Yeah.
anatomy of the elves.
Now, in terms
Okay.
of humans, do we want them to have the an average of say 100, or do we want to go a bit higher for humans? But if we are
I
going
mean,
higher, not a lot higher, since kind of the point of
no.
them is that they're one of the only races with a shorter lifespan.
Yeah, I think I mean even average of 100 is a lot.
But
So
considering it's in a world with magic, I don't think it's
yeah,
impossible
I
to
think
say.
I think 100 makes sense.
Yeah, I think if we had magic, we would probably be able to make our average life about 100.
To, to be fair, I think if we had magic, the average lifespan would probably be a lot lower.
Yeah, you would. There would be a lot more murder.
Yeah. Especially because it's something you can learn. It's not something you have to find
Yeah, or
necessarily.
buy.
Yeah, so you can learn a gun.
That's why I like solo leveling. People that are in poverty can suddenly become more powerful than the fucking U.S. Army.
Yeah, you just need to learn a gun.
Yeah. Learn a gun. Right.
Okay, so humans adapt. They live usually like 100 years.
Fantastic.
With yeah.
And we-
Other than that, what? How did they come to be? Ha-
Hmm. Yeah, like
Because
what
okay,
would have made humans? What kind of fucking
so I think for dragons, the very first dragons would probably have been for like the age of chaos, probably,
yeah.
and be basically big ass monsters to fight the other's army with.
Yeah.
Maybe the other ones made dragons after that. You know, the ones that didn't actually participate in the war.
Yeah. They were like, fuck this, no.
Fuck, that's
I'll
pretty cool.
I'll paint on the canvas when it's not
Yeah.
surrounded by people with guns.
And the Pureborn, we know they were created at like shortly after the what was it called? The betrayal.
Yeah, the betrayal, the one that brought magic into
The Great Offense,
the
right?
great offense. Yeah, that's true.
Um, mean which we should probably also note. Um, Elemental Guardians probably around the same time because they have the same purpose,
Yeah, probably.
unless they were repurposed. You're...
Maybe. I don't.
Either way, why humans?
What would
They
the point of humans?
Why would you want something that adapts very quickly? I guess as foot soldiers?
Yeah, We did. I think we may have discussed humans
Have-
partially,
I guess maybe.
but I do think yeah they were sort of foot soldiers. We should really have watched our own episodes in
Yeah,
preparation for
we should
this.
watch our own content. Damn. Okay. Um, I guess nothing that's not written down is canon.
Yeah.
Um,
We can always return to humans once we've remembered what they were about.
foot soldiers in Age of Chaos, I guess.
Seems so.
Huh?
Seems like that's
Yeah.
accurate. Yeah.
Whose foot soldiers?
Hmm. Quick adaptability sounds like
That's
something perfect for fighting against chaos.
true. Granted, it also sounds like something Chaos would make.
Yeah,
Um,
true.
though I do realize the human core value in making them be of the quote unquote good side.
Well, I mean, I don't care which side they're on. I'm just in like let's not make them
Okay.
pitiful and inherently bad.
Okay. What if they were made by Chaos, but after gaining sentience, they turned on Chaos?
Ooh, that could be part of what made chaos lose.
Yeah.
I like
So,
that.
and
Yeah.
this is even more human core.
The interference. What was that again?
The interference, that was when they gained sentience.
That was what. Yes, that was true. They gained sentience in the interference. That would make sense. Then that was when they turned on chaos,
Yeah.
which is then when the war slowly started. The war had been moving in chaos's favor for all that time. Then the war
Yeah.
started moving in order's favor.
So, gaining sentience in the great interference. Or the interference is the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, I guess they're everywhere, is the
Yeah.
usual idea.
They're everywhere.
Because they're adaptive and shit.
They're
they're everywhere.
they're everywhere. They are very good at adapting to any climate.
Yeah. Yeah. And they are relentless.
Yeah, relentless. They aren't inherently very like they can. I would maybe they are slightly better than a lot of others at learning magic of the mind.
Yeah.
As opposed to say the pureborn, which are magic of the soul.
Yeah.
And then probably the dwarf stand-in would probably be the ones that are quite interested in the body of the body. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I don't know. We'll figure out if we do anything with like monstrous, like
Yeah.
kind of races, like orcs and shit.
I mean, yeah, and I know we're definitely adding more sentient species than just the free.
The core 3.
Not the prime races. No.
No. Superman.
Supermensch.
And it would also like, it makes sense with the indomitable thing that basically they turned on their creator.
Yeah.
No, there's no strings on me. Well, I got no chains on me, pal.
So yeah, made on chaos. They were made by chaos, and then some amount of time later, they gained sentience in the interference, and then they were like, "Fuck you."
Fuck you. And they're I don't think we need a whole lot more on them.
No,
We basically
they're
have humans now. I guess their name.
Yeah, that's true.
Humans equal.
Is humans? What do we want them to be called in the
Homo sapiens.
No.
um.
Warriors
turn.
of the mind.
Fuck. You're a warrior of the
The
mind.
mind.
Um. Uh. I mean, I guess they would be named already at the age of chaos.
Yeah,
Um.
which is why, like I said it as a joke, but having warrior or soldier or
Yeah.
battleborn or something in the name.
I like fucking soldier of evil.
Soldier of evil.
They're
Jesus Christ.
for the edgy humans, you know. No. So they're straight up soldier of chaos. Um.
Soldier of, I mean, it could be like soldier of adaptability or something.
Yeah. So
They could have been
soldier.
they could have been the only type of, like, there could have been a lot of different types of soldiers.
Yeah.
They were the ones that were the most effective because of their
Oh.
adaptability, but they
Yeah.
were also the only ones that turned on chaos.
Yeah. So I guess maybe there are little like
There's
conclaves of other soldiers
Yeah,
that
which
are
would be
called up.
essentially, like, they would be soldier of and then something else, so they would kind of be subspecies of humans as
Yeah.
well.
So the Homo erectus thing.
Yeah. We are
Soldier of
creating the same thing but different, and it's kind of funny.
soldier of change.
Okay, then fucking Zinch lover.
uh. Okay. Pocket change.
Soldier of pocket change, yeah.
Fucking next Space Marine 2 episode. Siege wants your pocket change.
This is the soldier of checking the couch cushions. I mean, it could literally just be soldier of adaptability.
Adaptability. Ability.
Like unless you think that is a bit on the nose.
Hmm. No, it's that it's a little long.
Ah,
Uh,
okay. I mean, we can find something else. Just like there's nothing. Like, in my opinion, there's nothing stopping it from being that
so soldiers of
adaptation.
adap
Now it's about the same length, but it kind of it rolls off the tongue a
yeah,
bit more.
soldier of adaptation. Yeah, we can go with that.
You can always change it.
Um, yeah.
Which
Granted,
means
then
that
we need
which
to
means
change
that
the
we need which means that we need like soldier. Like, naturally, since we're doing the whole thing, we can make the words not always be the same.
yeah.
But we do know that whatever we choose for adaptation needs to have ill attached.
Yeah, Fito. Like
Fucking
fighter.
fucking Frito.
Frida. Fito. Uh, well,
Uh,
adaptation. Uh, uh, Adaptus. Adapto.
Fito Malil.
Mal. Yeah,
Mal as in malleable.
yeah,
Okay, Fito Malil, and then we'd have Fito something else ill,
yeah.
depending on the other conclaves.
All right. So now we have humans. So
Dear
are we
God.
going with dwarves now?
Are we doing dwarves, or do we want to do something completely different?
I mean, it might be good to get the
Some of
humans, elves, dwarves.
the more
done.
core
Yeah,
races done, yeah.
the ones that we know we're gonna have in
Yeah.
there.
All right, dwarves then.
Do we
The
just dwarves,
No,
or is it
we
like
changed
the
the names. We
mountain
changed the
folk?
names of the elves.
Yeah,
Humans are kind of a special case.
required. The squats, the
The
the leagues of votes.
No. Let's see.
They
Okay.
are
Should we consider what they are before we look at the
yeah.
name? Okay.
What
They
are dwarves? They're short.
they are. I mean, I feel like they can. We can just straight up say that, like, they don't inherit. What if we, instead of going with the they love mountains and that
Yeah.
specifically, they just generally like the subterranean environment.
Yeah, so they live they like
Yeah,
underground.
they like the underground, which of course for mountainous areas would allow them to be underground while still being above sea level, so they probably wouldn't mind
Yeah.
that. But generally, they like being they like the underground area.
Rock folk.
Rock, rock folk. Hmm.
Um,
If we do something like instead of they can hear the magic, they can smell the earth.
they can smell the earth. How? Okay.
It was a throwaway idea.
I don't mind the idea that they smell like do something akin to that. The specifically smell the earth. I understand that it's because they live underground. There's just also the fact that it very much binds them to like the earth element.
Yeah, that's true.
But we can very much do that. We just need to make sure
I
that
think
that's what we
I
want.
I do think that I want that like a bit more open. Because the thing is, I don't think we should just have they can smell magic, because the pureborn were
Yeah.
created to seek out magic for that sense, but nothing we've sort of decided
Yeah.
is that the dwarves should do the same. But I do like the idea that they have a sort of sense of smell that might be something
Yeah.
special.
Yeah. They can smell.
In terms of
Uh.
appearance, we can go with the usual that they are smaller, but in the sense that their bones are thicker because they are more akin to an underground environment that needs to and being smaller in that instance also allows for easier traversal underground.
Yeah. So, they're small, thick bones. Yeah. Underground.
Yeah, underground.
Where are your balls?
How are your
Um.
balls?
So, but what does that and why do they exist?
Hmm.
What's their purpose?
Perhaps they were
Um.
made to sort of, maybe there's something that needs to be tempered in the ground.
Something that needs to be tempered in the ground.
While
Yeah.
whereas the pureborn are created to seek out and defend fonts of magic, maybe the dwarves were created or came about as a sort of planet's reaction to something happening under the ground that needed to be maybe not stopped, but at the very least interfered with.
Yeah. Okay. Any ideas for what that could be?
Hmm. Perhaps, I mean, okay, I'm just a spitball idea. It doesn't have to be one we at all continue with. Maybe a chaos planted a form of almost a poison in the ground, in the form of maybe like
Yeah.
a crystal type that spreads
Hmm.
to nearby rock.
So they exist to make sure that is like
Kept
kept
under
down.
wraps. Yeah,
Yeah.
it spread like that crystal, draws in maybe surrounding magics and sort of
Yeah.
like alters them with the magic of chaos.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Um.
Which would
In that
also give
case, they
another reason that
could
they
probably
could
be worshippers of order.
yeah, they'd be probably they'd probably at the very least, well, maybe, or they have no idea that, or they don't know that it's inherently chaos that did
Well,
the
they
crystals.
they don't they don't necessarily need to do that, nor do they necessarily need to know that the Archangel of Order is the Archangel of Order. But my thought is that they were created by the Archangel of Order to take care of this,
Hmm.
because, you know,
I'm all
order
for that.
versus mirrors and
But
shit.
we have a lot of this species was created by this specific thing for this specific purpose. What if
Yeah.
they, because I feel like that might fit more with the fact that they are magic of the body. What if they were a reaction from the planet itself?
from the planet itself.
Like they were a sort of they came about as more of a regular type of evolution by the planet itself, like hastened evolution maybe, or maybe literally they came about from some specific way. Maybe they were created in like, we can go the
Yeah.
route of it, I think it's like Conquest of Elysium that says that dwarves are birthed in egg sacs.
Yeah, I mean, we can very much do
We
that.
can say that they are literally like maybe carved from the earth, or they aren't, they don't breed by natural means,
Yeah, sure.
which would allow for them to have been created in a less than like in a way that the planet sort of interfered with. Because I like the fact that they are very neutral, even if they are inherently fighting against chaos without them knowing.
All right.
Which I
I
think would
mean,
also fit
granted,
very well with
Chaos
the.
probably isn't very happy about them,
Well, yeah, no,
and
but Chaos isn't happy
again,
about fucking
Order is
anything
probably pretty
happening.
happy about them.
Well, yeah, no, that's fine. That's of course. That would mean that if ever they wanted to do a soul contract
Yeah,
with, say, Fire, if they wanted to throw in Order might be more akin to agree with
yeah,
them.
yeah. All right. So uh, they keep down Chaos's poison.
In the full, which takes the form of crystals that spread to nearby earth and
Yeah.
rock.
What would those crystal like? What do they do with those?
What do they do with them? That is a good question. There is a chance that they in their sort of carved out of the earth state would act as useful or like pretty good sort of focuses,
Yeah,
since they inherently draw in magic.
yeah,
They would function as great things for like magic focuses,
that's
and
true.
they would probably be a very common spell component.
That is true. Would they be a common spell component for non-chaos magic as well?
Maybe not. I mean, the question is, do like could you remove the chaos from them to make them inherently just?
Perhaps. I mean, I like the idea of having like a sort of a purification ceremony for
Yeah, I
these
mean that
crystals.
fits with the way that dwarves already are, with
Yeah.
them often being tied to ceremony and ritual and all that, like more
So,
direct ritual.
so I guess they purify the crystals.
It could be different clans, some that purify them, others that don't.
Yeah. Chaos dwarves.
Oh fuck!
um or don't. Yeah. Um oh, that should be in the yeah. So they purify them or they don't purify them and use them. I guess there's the as a focus. There's also the possibility of using them for say uh weaponry or something.
Yeah, they could function like let's say someone's making a siege engine that
Yeah.
channels, let's say, like lightning magic.
Oh, so
You
they
could
use
put
them as
them,
a
you could maybe like they could be used as potentially like a lens to shoot the magic
yeah.
through.
Would they be a lens or would they be the power source?
Ooh, okay, yeah, they could, I feel like they could probably have various things.
Yeah.
They could be created, they could be utilized for their ability to store magic to be the power source, or perhaps they could be used for their ability to concentrate magic to use them as a lens.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So we're
So
essentially creating a society of
power
dwarves that
sources,
may
lenses,
not,
foci, such
yeah,
things.
that they themselves are magical in the form of the body,
Yeah.
but it's we're actually kind of diverting from the usual here, because we're making the dwarves actually be a very high magic focused thing by the fact that they supply a very
That's true.
a very needed magical compound, essentially.
Though perhaps the use of, say, soul and mind magic is nearly non-existent.
Yeah, I feel like they can just as well as the pureborn
Yeah,
can do mind magic, but they kind of just feel like they would have that kind of dwarven stubbornness with being like, I can do well just fine with my
yeah.
body magic. But I don't think they would
So
consider it inherently taboo.
no, but they just usually don't do it
Yeah.
because who
And then
needs that stuff?
and then the ones that maybe don't purify them would perhaps be the clans that are a bit more open
Yeah,
to trying that kind of stuff.
yeah. So non-purifiers.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So, what do we call them?
Ooh, yeah. Oh yeah, and what we haven't written down yet, they have a sense of smell that could seek out the crystals.
Uh, oh yeah,
That's the main thing that they can do. They can find it by literally smelling it out
sure,
through the rock itself.
sure thing.
Which also gives some potential interest in what is it different types of magic smell like, because it would give the because it gives the idea that
Yeah, I
magic
guess
can
the
smell like
purified
something.
crystals would be like something else,
Yeah.
and it also there's also the pureborn with what would it sound like?
Yeah.
So we can have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, maybe would would having an acute sense of smell and being able to smell these crystals make them very culinarily
Oh,
apt?
I like that. I like the idea that they are also quite the culinary kind of
Yeah.
people. Maybe they found out the crystals can also work as a seasoning. Nah, it's their form
They
of
crush
salt.
them down and snort.
Yeah, honestly, you say that, it wouldn't surprise me if that was if at the very least it was a ingredient in some kind of magical drug.
Yeah, yeah.
In fact, it would kind of surprise me if that wasn't the case.
Oh god. I mean, definitely is the case, but
Yeah,
we can work on that later.
we
Um,
can work on the drugs later.
very culinary. How long do they
Mm,
live?
Considering I feel like instead of directly aging, I feel like they would instead they would birth physically already mature, like
Yeah,
from probably like they would come from the spawn of the earth. They would already be mature, at least physically. And
yeah,
I think instead of aging like normal, they would sort of erode like stone. Like their body would begin becoming more sort of weathered down. It would become stiffened. It would weather
yeah.
like a statue would.
Maybe, yeah, maybe they like it's really hard for them to like regenerate
Yeah, but they are tough and they
anything.
live, and if they are kept in condition, I would say they
Yeah,
would probably be I would say probably, I mean, going by that, I wouldn't be surprised if they would probably be in the slightly higher than the pureborn, since they're literally
yeah.
like
They
stone.
just they just rarely get there because they don't like they don't really naturally regenerate.
Yeah, they would, and since there's very few of them that become healers, they would, and they're
So,
stubborn. They're too stubborn to go out and find healers. But I feel like in that case, the idea of like a one of them having reached the part where they are literally breaking down, that would be considered sort of
yeah,
they would like, then in that case they would all like gather around an altar, lay them down, and they would sort of stay with them as they sort of crumbled into dust. That would be sort of
yeah.
a passing on ritual. That could be pretty,
Okay,
that'd be pretty beautiful.
indeed. So I've written could live for thousands of years, but
Yeah,
they can't naturally regenerate. Okay.
I like that. Yeah.
So basically, if you get hurt, you need some form of healer.
Yeah. They would like they can regenerate about as far as a rock can, which is to say
Yeah,
maybe the chip will erode, but the chip is still there.
yeah. It's like it'll get prettier, but it won't get it back.
Yeah.
All
But
right,
I feel like
so
but okay, in terms of that, like blood, would they have blood or would they have something
probably
instead
not.
of blood?
Maybe it depends. How do they look? Because they could look very rock-like,
I
but
feel like if we're going from, let's say, an appearance foundation of
yeah,
the 5e dwarf appearance, like the one that they have in the book
yeah.
there, where do we go from there?
Where do we go from there? Uh, because what then is on the inside if not just normal meat and bones and blood?
We could say that like the some like it would be different for uh each one. They would have like pieces of stone across their body.
Yeah,
Um but they would still have that sort of fleshy appearance, perhaps as a perhaps it's just perhaps the planet literally saw it and was like, that is a very good foundation to go off of.
yeah.
It's very adaptable to the world, which is good for the equivalent of a pest control that I'm making.
So I guess maybe they have like skin-like appearance, but on the inside they're stone.
Perhaps it's like a yeah, perhaps the what they would have as blood would instead be like a form of it would look almost like mineral water.
Yeah. So
Like they would have,
maybe
instead of arteries, they would have like channels carved through their bodies, like how water carves through stone over long periods of time.
yeah, sure.
That actually wouldn't literally be mineral water, but it's something
No,
else.
no, no. It's a water-like substance.
It would probably have like some kind of special properties, but you'd have to literally chop off the arm of one of these
Yeah.
guys to get it, so it'd be considered kind of like unicorn blood in Harry Potter.
Yeah. Yeah,
And I
especially
feel
because
like
these are just objectively doing something that is
helps
good
the
for most
planet, yeah.
people. Like, yeah,
But I do feel like while they wouldn't regenerate their bodily, but they would regenerate that liquid within them, because otherwise,
yeah,
the second they get a cut that lets it drain,
yeah, they just die.
yeah. So I feel like it would congeal and then regenerate. Like it would congeal around any open channel, creating a blockage, and then begin restoring within the body like blood.
Yeah.
But they can still die if all of it runs out. Maybe it's a
Um.
self-replicating liquid.
Oh God,
Like a well, not like in an inherently bad way, but
the
like kind of
blob.
like but kind of like how a plant would grow.
Yeah.
The
So
liquid would grow. It would like
yeah,
it uses the sustenance that it eats, that a dwarf eats, to grow.
there.
Yeah, the liquid performs
Pheromones.
mitosis essentially.
There. Okay. And what would be the properties if you drink it?
Would it be ironically healing?
I mean, I guess since it
Or
does
would
do
it give you,
mitosis.
or would it briefly give you as like one of the properties, would it briefly give you the ability to smell out the
Smell the
crystals?
crystals? Yeah. I was thinking that too.
Perhaps it
Um,
gives it gives the ability to smell the crystals, and perhaps a form of night vision,
yeah.
but continued ingestion of it would slowly begin turning some of like maybe like the tips of your fingers into like they would begin feeling stony.
Yeah, you start turning stone.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right. All right. So,
Name.
what do we call them? um,
I feel like
I mean,
I feel like the angelic name could be Crystal Seeker.
yeah. Um, yeah. So Crystal Seeker. Eh. But what do normal people call?
Hmm.
I mean, there is just dwarves, but
I would
but
like it to be, since we are
yeah.
since at this point we are quite unique from inherent dwarves. I would like the name to also be.
Uh,
We could go like they would maybe get a name depending on how they were spawned. Like they might call them like the rock spawn or something like that.
yeah. The
The Rockies.
the Earth spawn, the planet spawn. Also, one thing to consider is, so the planet just kind of spawned them. How did the planet do that?
Yeah, is the planet Azeroth? Is it alive?
Yeah, is it a world soul? But yeah, there is is it sentient? Because
I think the way I see it is the world is sentient in the way that our immune system is sentient.
all right,
In the way that it doesn't
it is
actively
living and breathing, but
yeah,
it's not
but it's not thinking or
thinking.
anything. It can react to things, but it doesn't inherently have like a will, it doesn't have a mind, it doesn't have sentience.
Though there is the possibility that the interference didn't just
Oh, the
do it to the animal.
interference hit the planet too, yeah.
Yeah,
That is okay, that is definitely something to consider.
yeah. But at the very least, we know that it has a defense system.
Yeah. I like Earthborn,
Kind
by
of.
the way. I didn't say
Earthborn?
it.
Earthborn. Born or born?
Hmm. I don't know. I think without the E.
Without the ear. Okay. That's also a question of on the pureborn.
Pureborn, I really don't want an E.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Do you want the if we if you
No.
want the E, we can discuss. Like I'm not I'm
No.
not
I
really
like
against.
the E, but it's really not a thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let me see what it looks.
What an Earthborn looks like.
Okay, we can have an E on
Pureborn?
Pureborn, but I don't like it
Okay.
on Earthborn for
No.
some reason. That like Pureborn, it looks okay on Earthborn.
Yeah.
The E kind of looks weird on there.
The E is also fancier, so it fits
Yeah.
better on the pureborn.
Yeah. Okay, Crystal Seeker
Crystal
in
Seeker.
Angelic Tongue. Fuck.
Crystallis Tertius.
No.
I cannot spell for the life of me. Okay.
What about oh,
Please.
Transl
Transl?
from Translucent?
Transul or Transul or Transul?
I like I like
Transul?
I like Transul. I like
Transul. Seeker.
what is a synonym for seeker?
Dead.
What Transul Sarah
Sarah?
from Searcher?
There?
I don't mind how that looks.
Yeah. Transul Sarah. Alright. What's next on our menu?
Do we want to continue the sentient ones, or yet again I will ask, do we go in a different direction?
We can go in a different direction.
I mean, I have no preference. It's up to what we think is.
What would the different direction be? Like animals?
An animal or some kind of massive beast, some kind of ancient creature, some kind of insect, some like that might have some sort of major. I feel like we should have ones. We should start with ones that have a decent impact on the world.
Yeah. I mean, we're not gonna just talk about a deer.
Yeah, no. We're only
we
going
were
to talk
gonna
about
be
the
talking
deer
about
if maybe they are like like one of the main food
Yeah.
sources to one of the now sentient races.
yeah. So
Do we want to maybe make a monstrous
mon-
sentient species or more
Sure.
monstrous? Or
I would love to do
do we
monstrous.
want to try and make a monstrous one, but we go off of no inherent foundation?
Sure, we can make something completely new,
Okay.
which isn't possible, but
No, but we can make
we can do
something
our
that
best.
we can come up with something without using a template,
Yeah.
essentially.
Okay.
What do we
So
want them to? Okay, let's start. What do we want them to sort of be in this world? We have the magic pest control. We have
yeah,
the guardians of magic. We
but
have
we don't have the
humans.
big brutes.
We don't have the big brutes. True. Okay. They would definitely. I feel like they would also be pretty magic of the body.
Yeah,
Or
probably.
maybe they would be
If magic at all.
magicless.
Yeah. we have one brain cell.
Yep. We have 100 brain cells. They're all the same.
Yeah. We have 100 brain cells because we can't count.
Yeah. We added 2 zeros.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Surely 1 plus 0 plus 0 is 100.
definitely. Okay,
So
so they are brutes that are
Yeah.
inherently perhaps magic intolerant.
Oh, allergic to magic. Would they then be like very resistant to like physical
Yeah.
boom boom?
I think they would have essentially they would be the ultimate warriors against
Yeah.
anything non-magical.
Yeah. Strong against physical. I suppose I'll note big and strong.
Yeah, big and strong.
Big and strong.
What do we want as climate?
As climate.
Where do we let's have a look at the map.
Let's look at the map.
We have currently something that could we have the humans and the pureborn, which could theoretically be anywhere.
Yeah.
We have the Earthborn, which can also be theoretically, or the Earthspawn,
yeah.
which could theoretically also be anywhere, but probably be more in the. Well, okay, they probably also aren't in any inherent region, but they would enjoy a good mountain or two.
Yeah, because there's more earth there.
Yeah, it allows them to be underground but above ground, above sea level.
So
we don't have much that
brutes.
we don't have anything currently that resides on, say, inherently the anywhere that's icy, which may be a good choice.
Yeah.
We want to keep the icy plains as sort of uninhabited. But we could have someone that lives there. We also don't have much on the Serpent Island, the little island with the only island with no mountains.
Yeah, the one with the big inland lake, like
the big inland lake. Yeah,
inland lake, as if there's an out like. Yeah, we can put them there.
Maybe they have like a big maybe they have a big water culture, like a like swimming culture. Because remember, we agreed that the lake in the middle there is deceptively deep.
Yeah, it's ridiculously deep.
So they could have like a thing where they like a culture among them is who can swim the deepest. So they would train both their lungs and their bodies, which would make them which would inherently fit with them being very good fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you interested in doing that?
I'm interested in that.
All
So
right.
they live by the Great Lake. They have a water culture.
Which would also include the ocean, but mainly the lake.
Yeah.
It would be kind of like if you are one of these things and you were born elsewhere in the world, it'd be like Mecca. You'd like You'd be
Yeah.
expected to travel to the Great Lake and dive at some point in your life.
All right. Yeah. So basically, it's their it's their holy place.
Yeah. In
Um.
that case, it could bring up the idea that the serpent in that one
Yeah.
could, to them at least, not be
Be there.
aggressive.
Yeah.
Maybe the serpent is, to at the very least, this species seen as a sort of kind of like this deity sort of
Yeah.
symbol to them.
So basically, worship the great serpent.
Perhaps one of the
Place
greatest honor.
over name.
Perhaps one of the greatest honors would be to spot it while down in the depths. Even if that is, even if that idea is terrifying, maybe to them it's a great honor to
When they
be
spot Nessie.
when they're in the literal, like, maybe like 5 kilometers under the water, to look up and see this fucking
Yeah.
like this literal like fucking half a continent sized serpent staring back at them.
In that case, at least after we make this, we might want to consider what the serpent is.
Yeah, I mean, I know that I have one idea that I really want, which is the idea that I kept bringing up, which is that there are a few creatures from Chaos's reign that remain, and one of them was a serpent, but a different one that very much is aggressive, which I want to sort of be the great equalizer, the single, maybe not the single, but I would be very happy if it could be the single strongest sort of creature that still roams the planet.
Yeah.
Be like the ocean splitter or something. But
the ocean splitter.
But I love big underwater creatures, so I am happy to be able to make.
This could be a descendant or something of it.
It could be a descendant, or it could be a completely separate entity. We can discuss that. But
it's something that's aggressive to everyone but these people, right?
Yeah.
So, what would be aggressive to almost anything? It makes sense that it's chaos related.
Chaos. I mean, at the very least, unholy.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a portent. Yeah. Maybe it could be a I was about to say it could be a portent of death, but then I figured it might fit very well that it's a portent of darkness, since it lives down in the dark of the lake.
The deep dark below.
It's a portent of darkness, which since it's a great honor to swim down there as well, it would also be considered sort of a great honor to surround yourself in that sort of perfect void.
Yeah.
They may even try to follow that in the real life, where being more like not being completely nocturnal, but being very much sort of a night owl type species.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, absolutely. So they yeah, so that's all on the Great Serpent, except they like darkness.
Yeah, they like darkness.
I suppose that would also make them a somewhat like hostile people.
Yeah, I feel like they would be quite the they would be easily agitated, easily aggressive.
They're very territorial and such.
Yeah, I don't think they would inherently be like aggressive, but they would be very easy to aggravate and territorial. They would be open to trade.
The Great Serpent attacks anything that gets too close.
Yeah.
So should we.
So they would probably be considered quite jovial people while outside of their land, but when inside their land, they are very they are very protective of their land.
Yeah, I think it's kind of, it's like they have a very clear sense of territory, So basically, if they're in someone else's house, like when they're outside, they are in someone else's house, and they respect that
Yeah.
immensely.
And if they're literally in someone's house, they have the best goddamn guest manners you'll ever know.
Yeah,
Like they're like the like they would be some like saying like the best guest is one of these because they'll make because they will show you more hospitality than you will
yeah,
them.
yeah. Now, if you're in their house,
You best respect the shit out of that.
yeah, if you make one misstep, you may well die.
Indeed.
And sometimes you might just anyway.
Yeah.
But if they're in your house, they're the sweetest, kindest little bags of joy.
Well, not little.
No, but little as
Yeah.
in
So would
well,
other than
peach.
swimming, would they also just be a generally very active type people that would put a
Yeah,
lot of emphasis on physical trials?
very athletic people.
Would they also? I mean, I guess it would also make sense if they thrived in sort of sparring combat,
Yeah,
since that's a great way to train the two things that they consider the most important. Since
they spar a lot.
sparring is probably one of the most effective ways in fantasy to train both your senses, your
Yeah,
body, and your lung capacity.
yeah, because you have to go "Huh!" all the time.
Yeah. They would also
Yeah,
be able to scream very loud. Like
yeah.
they would have a hell of a roar.
So they have a very militant culture. They spar a lot.
Yeah.
Um, and obviously they would have to be fucking amazing fighters because what magic
Yeah.
is very bad. So they have to excel at something else.
Yep. That could also be that the island they're on has the fewest fonts of magic of any island.
Yeah. Uh,
If not literally none at all, then maybe only like one or two, and they
I
aren't
mean, we
any of
can
the
very
great.
much make it one where there isn't a font of magic,
Yeah. The only
unless unless we make the font of magic at the very bottom of the lake,
oh, okay.
and it be a darkness
Yeah,
font.
I like that. Okay, I like that. It's the only font that the pureborn don't
Yeah,
they there has never been a pureborn that has been born with dark tipped ears or like darkness tipped ears.
yeah. Wait, can you repeat that sentence?
Well, yeah, they don't get born. There's never been a pureborn that has been like that has been gazed upon by an elemental and then gotten darkness tipped ears.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
It is the one type of font that they do not guard.
And yeah, I think that could be an interesting story. Like, what if you did get one, and they had to travel to these
Yeah,
people, go into their home, and
l-
like,
learn to like have try to have them learn to accept you.
yeah, and also
I mean, they
you
might
need
very
to get
well be
close to their god.
there's a chance they would be very open because they might see it as you were literally touched by our god. That
Yeah, and that could be like a whole thing where there's this sect of them that that think you're basically Messiah, and then there's a whole sect of them that are like, you are the devil.
yeah.
It's basically it's I believe in Jesus, I don't believe in Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. In that
Okay.
case, I suppose yeah, the serpent is of darkness, the font is of darkness.
Yeah.
And the only type of magic they aren't inherently intolerant to is darkness.
Yeah. All right. All right.
Now, okay,
Okay.
they're intolerant to it, but considering we're also we're making the game for it.
Yes.
Would we want to say that there are occasional exceptions to allow the ability to play a
Yeah. And I was
spellcaster?
gonna. I was gonna actually mention, what if they had like in their whole society, like 3 people or something that were able to use magic, and those are like considered oracles of the great serpent.
Yeah, true. We could also say that instead of there being a set amount, we could just say that some are born,
Yeah.
but it is a very, very rare possibility.
Yeah, and then like those are considered for in some way gifted by the serpent.
Yeah, and they are given some slight privileges.
Yeah,
And then there are
and
probably a group of them that say that they are not, that instead of a gift from the serpent, it is a mark that they are not a true member of their species.
yeah, and then there's probably some of them that are considered like speakers to the serpent,
Yeah.
like some that focus very much on the darkness part and commune with
They would have some
God.
kind of like myth that states that the day that the serpent rises to the surface to talk to us directly is the day that the beginning of the end of the world or some shit like that.
Maybe they have this culture where they they see they expect the rise of the serpent, and they know the serpent will consume them, and they await that moment. That's basically their goal.
Their goal is essentially to embody the serpent, to one day be eaten, it's swallowed by the
Yeah.
serpent.
They yeah, I think that's wonderful. And what if they don't stop growing?
Oh yeah, a
So
slow.
basically they're like the, the bigger you are, the better an offering to the serpent you'll be.
Yeah, the more plump you are,
Yeah.
and they but they
So they're
but they
basically
don't like
cattle, but they like it.
yeah, they don't want to, and you don't want to feed junk food, so you got to stay in
Yeah.
shape. You give them
Yeah.
premium muscle.
Lots of protein.
Perhaps
um
it's also perhaps there are definitely some people that die whilst taking the dive, and it's believed that if you die down there and rise to the surface,
yeah.
you were rejected in death. But if you
Yeah.
don't ever resurface, you were given the highest possible honor of being consumed by the serpent.
Yes. I like that.
But they would be very like the ritual of diving wouldn't be like a somber or melancholic thing. It would be the equivalent of like a fucking frat party. Like they would be fucking drinking,
Yeah.
they would be celebrating, and like and the people who are
Yeah,
diving would
they're
literally
jovial.
like dive in, like they would be like they would say a quick goodbye and love you and everything, and they would just
Yeah.
fucking jump down.
In hopes to see the serpent and be consumed.
Yeah.
They're basically a death cult.
They're they're a death cult, but the thing is, I feel like at the same time they hope for that, but they know that
Yeah.
only like a few have ever had that happen.
It's
So
it's
even
very
just
rare.
just seeing the serpent while down there is the closest to the greatest honor you can expect
Yeah.
to get, or not expect, but hope to get.
Okay. So how do you prove that you've seen the serpent?
Hmm. Perhaps your eyes turn dark, like the
Yeah.
irises become black.
Your irises become completely black. Yeah, okay. How
Darkness
do their
seeps
eyes look normally?
I think they would have pupils that can extend very large, considering they thrive in dark environments.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like their irises would inherently have very vibrant colors to make it more noticeable if ever their eyes changed.
Yeah. Okay.
Like they're in the like they would have these almost glowing eyes, like different colors, but they would almost glow. Um, thereby making themselves visible in the night. So it's seen that if you were ever able to conceal yourself with your eyes open in the night,
Yeah.
you have been touched by the serpent. Your eyes, they are now, they are gates to the serpent. They are touched by darkness, and you are a an honored one.
All right.
At least that's
I
an
like
idea
it.
I quite like.
Yeah, I like it. Okay.
In terms of
It's
regular appearance,
yeah.
they're
Yeah.
we know they're big, we know they're strong, but the strong part, the big part comes from as they grow, of course.
Yeah.
The strong part comes from they do train their muscles. What would they look like
Yeah.
upon birth? Like, how do they breed? What would they look like upon birth? All that stuff.
I mean, they worship like creature of darkness. Maybe they're like gray or black.
Ooh, yeah, okay.
Hmm?
I like
So
gray. I like gray.
gray, gray,
Maybe a light gray as a bit of a
light
contrast.
gray skin. Yeah. All right. And
Or I guess it
what
could be sort of shades of gray. Like
they
that.
have gray skin.
Yeah,
Maybe they have some prejudices about that or something.
potentially, very easily, potentially.
Yeah. Because the darker you are, the more pure you must be, because
You are closer to
the
true dark.
you're closer to true darkness.
I feel like the leader would be the one that's just the best at hide and seek. The leader is the one that can stand in pitch blackness and not be discovered because he
Yeah.
has pitch black skin or the darkest gray skin possible and no glowing eyes.
Yeah.
You are our leader, for you beat our current tribal leader in hide and seek.
We would phrase it differently.
but ultimately, maybe not unlikely.
Maybe they do have a thing where they like similar to hide and seek, where you are like maybe it's a test, for example, for outsiders, that to be allowed in, you have to you have to hide.
Yeah, you have to prove you
You
can
go,
use the darkness.
you have to get in undetected.
Okay, that's kind of yeah. If you are to be a guest, you have to be the one to
Yeah.
announce yourself. You cannot be spotted by anyone else. But there
Yeah.
would naturally be there would be exceptions like traders. They don't expect traders to hide. Although if a trader manages to hide when they get their wares in, they may give them a bit of a bonus.
Yeah.
It's just like, well done, mate. That was good shit.
But though traders, they probably don't let very far into their
Yeah, no.
society.
I feel like
It's
they would
like, yeah,
probably they
okay, you
would
can stay at the gates.
they would probably occupy like a decent bit of
Yeah.
the island, and the closer to the lake, the more direct. Like they would have a complete like wall around their largest city,
Yeah.
around the entire perimeter of the lake, and then no wall towards the inner of the lake. Like the entire town
Yeah.
would be around the lake.
And there's no bridges or anything. They swim the entire way.
Well, yeah, I mean that's just good exercise.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I gotta go.
Which is
I gotta go.
insane.
I gotta go visit my friend on the other side.
Yeah. My friend across the lake.
Which is also,
Uh
I would never want to live in that society because I don't want to have to swim across a lake where I know that down below is a half a continent-sized serpent.
Personally, I just wouldn't like to swim across a lake that's like 200 kilometers.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like about a tenth like through that, I'm gonna wish the serpent got me.
Please end it.
Uh, yeah. Okay. So they they have a city. Yeah.
And then they generally sort of, you know, are also across the rest of the island.
Yeah.
It's their island after all.
Yeah. But I think there should be also some other like species present.
Yeah.
Probably not the uh fucking pureborn, but like humans maybe.
Maybe some humans, maybe some
Yeah,
earthspawn.
the earthborn might there might be a few.
Yeah.
There are no mountains, but they can still just go underground.
Yeah, although if they are spotted digging towards the lake, they are executed.
That's also a point. If they don't allow earthborn there, how are they taking care of the chaos infection?
Yeah, like if the crystals would probably be very abundant there because there's fucking,
Yeah.
which would mean that the entire place is a massive, is a massive source of chaotic dark magic.
Yeah. Oh god.
The place
No.
the place just has a very bad rap,
Yeah.
which is weird
It's
because
really giving bad vibes.
if you look at it, it's probably one of the nicest places to live.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I was thinking, oh, this is probably gonna be like some nice little elf society that likes the lake and shit. No.
No, it's a fucking not even try, it's an advanced, like fully understood group that are all a part of the same death cult.
Oh boy.
But hey, it's unique.
Yeah, it is unique. Okay, so now that we have that, what do we call them?
That is the question.
I mean, we can do the lifespan real quick. I suppose they're technically speaking immortal. They keep growing forever.
Yeah, that's true. But would
But
it
most
kind
of
of
them
be
die
like
in combat.
would it kind of be like the like lobster situation?
Oh, you're thinking they
Like
they
they get too big, and like because I feel like we do want them to still be a sort of contained size. Like they can keep growing, but I don't think they should start becoming like 5 meters tall. Like I feel like they should have a certain level where like
no, that would give us a pretty clean entry into giants.
true, but that kind of leaves us with the question: do we inherently want giants to just be these guys but big, or do we want them to be unique?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, we can do it a lot like a lobster situation. I just want there to be a like the possibility for there not to be a limit for someone
Well, yeah, I mean,
because
like with I mean, plans to create a lobster god. Like
yeah, exactly.
so long as like the body keeps growing, but more and more strain begins to be placed
Yeah,
on it. But if you say have some kind of healer that you can visit off the
yeah.
island to help with the strain, then you can very much keep growing.
So basically, their secret to immortality is other races, but they don't really
Yeah.
like let them into their society.
There are totally those that choose to leave the island that can become more immortal.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Eh.
But let's say
Um.
if they don't have anyone to fix, like to remove the strain, should we then put like a few 100 years?
Sure. Like 200
Yeah,
maybe.
200 years before their bodies will have needed to get some kind of repair before the body literally breaks down.
Yeah. So without breaking down. Yeah. Breaking zone. All right. All right. So, other than that, do we have anything else? There's the name, obviously.
Yeah. Something that I can think of right now. You got any ideas stewing about these guys?
Hmm. Not really. Um.
Well, I guess
I
then we can move
guess.
on to the name, unless you. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
go on.
Nah. I was gonna say the name as well. So something that's big and strong. We don't want to use a name that exists for something already.
Yeah, no.
Hmm. How did they come to be? That is like what where did they come from?
Yeah, that is a good question. Where the hell do serpent worshipping big brutes come from?
Yeah. And there's also the matter of when they're 200 years old. How big are they?
Yeah.
Because yeah.
2.5 meters?
2.5 at 200?
3?
Yeah, 3.
3? Okay. So yeah,
So
it is very slow growth, but it is very much growth.
yeah.
So being 2 meters is you're small.
Yeah, being 2 meters, you're pretty small. I mean, to be fair, that's at like what 120 years or something if
Well,
we
to be
assume
fair,
linear growth.
yeah, that is assuming linear growth, which
Yeah.
maybe not inherently.
Nah.
But we'll figure out that. Right. How did they come to be?
Hmm. What's their purpose? Why are they here?
What's that? Yeah, because I like. Do they have a purpose? They could have been. Were they created by darkness, or did darkness just so happen to have some connection to their past?
Hmm. Ah. Well,
Because maybe they were unrelated from darkness, but somehow the serpent saved them or granted them some kind of thing.
yeah.
Maybe
Okay.
maybe they were a type of. Maybe they were like a soldier of some kind, but then eventually found out that there was nowhere they could exist because they were magic intolerant. But then the
Yeah.
serpent called to them, giving them the shelter on the island, a place with no magic but darkness. And then
Yeah.
over the years, they slowly became more darkness attuned, gaining the gray skin, the glowing eyes, and all that stuff.
I like that.
Okay,
So they
so they migrated to the island
yeah.
from the boat.
So they were soldiers of some kind.
Indeed.
Soldiers of whom?
Do we go order or chaos? That's the main one, because those are the two majors sides in that war.
They have a very clear set of rules.
Yeah,
So I think chaos is weird. Yeah, and like they have a very clear idea of this is ours, this is yours. If I'm in yours, I will respect you. I will basically worship you.
yeah.
If you're in mine,
You best
you better
worship
do the
me.
same.
But yeah, I like okay. So soldiers for order, which does also since we're kind of going with the idea that no side is inherently evil, no side is inherently good.
Yeah.
We can't. This is a very good possibility of maybe throwing a little bit of negativity the order's way, because since order has
Yeah.
very much been the good side so far. Order
Yeah.
essentially abandoned these people with their
That's
magic
true.
intolerance, and it was one that is inherently related to chaos that ended up giving them the mercy and the safety that they did
That's
not
true.
have.
It is indeed a cousin of chaos.
Yeah, they were abandoned by a being of divine, but then saved by a being of the unholy.
Okay.
I think that could work
So
very well, yeah.
so they were abandoned.
They were abandoned in a world that was teeming with magic after the great offense. Without and order did nothing to clear them of their magic intolerance.
Yeah. Okay. So
Maybe they were given. Maybe that like this is just a spitball. Maybe the magic intolerance was both a because they were used as the soldiers against those who weren't magical,
yeah.
since not everything was magical before the Great Offense. But they might have also been sort of almost like they would also be sort of like giant detectors for magic, since they would actively start they would actively start growing weaker when near magic. So they would function
Okay.
both as fighters against magic, and also if suddenly they started losing, then order would know, hey, the opponents are using magic, I need to send in something that can deal with magic.
Sure. Okay. So just for order, um, created. Yeah. So they were created both to fight non-magical beings and to detect magic
Yeah,
because they grow weaker.
could they
Yeah,
grow weaker? Yeah.
they grow weaker.
Then order
Okay.
abandoned them, and while teeming with magic, they were still intolerant to it. And then the serpent was like, yo, what up, bro? I can give you safety over here.
Yeah.
And then, boom. They.
You have a big boy place.
And then, boom. That. I mean, if there is
They
any.
started a death cult.
If there's any reason to devote your life to paying back something, I'd say that's a fair thing.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. Um, so
And to be fair, it's not like the serpent actually asked for anything in return. They're just giving something in
they're just
return.
doing it. Okay, so their name. I mean, we can literally call them whatever we want.
Yeah.
We we can call them fucking I can't even fucking Lundarks or some shit, and
I
it'll be
I
fine.
I kind of like Lundarks actually.
Lundarks. Oh,
Okay,
I genuinely did not even think of the fact it has dark in the end.
I mean, maybe not. Okay, I like Lundark at the very. I like it as maybe. I like it. I like it actually. I quite like
Lundark.
Lundark.
Do we want to call them Lundarks?
Do you? Because I don't.
Sure, yeah, I mean, yeah,
All right, we're calling them Lundarks. We're creating Lundarks.
Lundark. Um, w- we
Or
should,
do we want
yeah,
it to, or do we
Lundark,
want it to be pronounced more like Lundark, like Lundark?
Lundark, Lundark. Yeah, sure.
And every time someone other than them say it, they're always like, "No, you're pronouncing it wrong. It's
Yeah.
Lundark."
Look, it's not like that.
It's because they will always say it's like it's Lundark, Lundark.
Yeah, they have a very guttural
Yeah.
language. Lundark.
Now they could literally just be like, um, they could be either a name that's focused on the shadow or the water spectrum. But considering
Yeah,
only
or the magicless.
true, But ooh, yeah, true. Considering they weren't, they
Ungifted.
were created from the perspective of the magicless, since
Yeah,
they weren't shadow
yeah.
or they weren't darkness or water related when they
At
were
the point of
created.
their creation. Is the ungifted?
But considering
Um,
their magiclessness was intentional.
yeah, that's true.
Hmm.
Though to be fair, at that point they were basically slaves.
Yeah.
Um, hmm. Magic detector.
I have some notes.
Okay.
Let's think. What do we
Grower, not shower.
fuck off? Yeah,
Uh,
to be fair, the fact that they grow forever is now used as a, oh, we can become big and strong for the serpent.
yeah,
But it
but that
was
was always
originally
the
just
case.
you're not gonna live past 200, so
Yeah.
might as well make sure you keep growing in that time.
There's no reason to stop you from growing.
So theoretically, they could die from age at like 10,000 years old. They just never reached that level.
Yeah. We'll never know.
Fucking 17 meters tall.
I like the idea that like it takes so much magic to be able to mold them so that they can keep growing. So there's like one that grows past those 200 years and it's like the leader.
Yeah, they're like, holy shit, you're
But
still
he's
growing.
fucking huge.
My God, look at you. Look at you.
Lundark, they are
They could have like the it could literally be like magicless titans.
magicless titans.
Or like a different word for magicless, but I feel like it wouldn't it would be kind of, although that kind of does put into perspective, would Order not have created more literal titans that were
Yeah,
a bit
probably.
bigger than
Probably.
um
Hmm. Uh,
grunts?
grunts. There is the idea of soldiers of.
Yeah, but we've established that that the ones called soldiers of, at least within that wording, are human connected.
Oh,
Remember,
fair.
soldier of adaptation.
Yeah, no, I got that.
Yeah.
Um, what are
Maybe
you?
something aggressors.
Aggressors.
They could have been the shock troops.
They just fucking run in there.
Well, yeah, because that would make sense, because they would be sent in
Yeah.
to something, and then if they lost, then Order would know they use magic.
Yeah.
They would essentially be like,
Basically, they would never lose unless someone was using magic.
yeah, like they would have such aggressive and sudden tactics that the only way they would lose is if it was because their weakness was being used.
God, that is absolutely horrible.
Yeah, which is
Like, fucking Order is just a dick right now.
well, yeah. So was
He made
Chaos. Both sides sucks.
Suicide Soldier. He made a Suicide Squad.
Yeah, Chaos sucked too. Both sides
Yeah.
suck.
Everyone sucks.
At least
Everything
to be
sucks.
fair, the least you could say is Chaos, to some degree, was hiding it less.
Yeah.
He was just having fun.
At least Order is lying.
Yeah.
I guess.
Which I'll leave it up
Ironic.
to the viewers to decide whether that's an at least or despite.
Well, to be fair, none of them see themselves as bad.
Well, yeah,
So.
and none of them
Or-
are
Order
inherently
is.
bad.
I would imagine Order is absolutely pro-slavery.
Yeah, I mean, slavery brings order.
Yeah.
Don't have poverty, have slavery.
Yeah.
All right, so something aggressors.
Hmm.
Blighted aggressors?
Blighted? You're going for the darkness thing?
No, I'm going with the idea that they were given an inherent flaw.
Ah.
They were poisoned in a way to act as detectors.
Marked aggressors.
Ooh, okay, yeah, marked aggressors. I kind of like that.
Which would be
Doesn't aggressors have two
Mar-
G's?
yes. I could feel fucking autocorrect shouting at me with that red line.
Come on! I'm telling you!
Marcus Aggressasipak.
Go fuck yourself.
um,
Marked aggressors. Alright, let's think. Do we maybe want to try making one where the compound of marked aggressors is one word?
sure. They have.
Or maybe a word with a, an apostrophe instead of a space.
Yeah. So. Or like an apostrophe. Yeah, did you say apostrophe?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So. Lol.
Litvasvora.
Litvis?
Or
Litvis?
Litvas or Blitvas?
Blit.
I was like Blitvas
Yeah.
apostrophe Vora.
Litvisvora.
Blit as in blight and blitz. Vora as in voracious.
There's
You got
also
any ideas?
Blitvora.
Ooh, Blitvora. Well, yeah, okay. I kind of like the. Yeah, okay. I like the more compact name.
Yeah.
Do we go with that?
Sure.
The Blitvora. the name for the Lundach.
Fucking Sylvanus Windrunner, I challenge Blitvora.
Which one of them?
Oh.
I challenge Blitvora. You know that's a species, right? That's really rude, actually.
Dude,
And
at least
I
call
come-
us the people.
I come into your house, show you the respect you deserve, and you discriminate against me? What the hell is this, dude?
The question is, would they be like that, or would they just be like, yeah, okay?
No, I
They're in
like.
someone else's house.
Yeah, but no, like I feel like they would have a strong sense of self.
Yeah, fair.
But they would be very respectful, so long as they because like in Greece, if you are a guest, you are both to be respected, but you are also to respect.
Yeah.
So they respect everyone
The
else. So but so long as they are also treated with what they would expect as camaraderie, respect, and that.
They follow senior sacred hospitality.
Yeah. Which is a really fucking funny idea of a species where that sacred hospitality is one of their core values.
Yeah, like Lundarks and the Greek species.
It's the Greek species, yeah.
Okay, so now that we have
what is a species similar to the Lundarks? Greeks.
Greek. Anyway, I think it's currently 18 past midnight.
Yeah, and
I have work tomorrow.
We have been recording for 3 hours.
Yes, so I think having made 1, 2, 3. Fuck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 species now. I think is a decent place to.
Indeed. Will this be the start of a mini segment of the World Building podcast where we also do species next time?
I think it's a good idea to get at least a few more done before we get too far into it. We might also want to get like some magical non-sentient creatures that like just kind of roam the woods and shit.
Yeah.
Because those might impact society pretty vastly.
In that case, my friend, do you want to run over what we have got?
Yes. First of all, we have established that if you if you tie magic to your soul, it goes to whatever force it's tied to when you die.
Yeah. First, we
Um,
outlined death.
and we also know that angels can be made from souls.
Yeah.
That's all nice and good. But we don't quite know what happens when you just kind of die.
Yeah, when you die without giving up
Yeah.
your soul, which we have
Mm.
now discovered is definitely something we should consider, because a few of these don't often use the soul magic.
Yeah. So we'll discuss that
Yeah,
at a point. It could be related to whatever font you're closest to or some shit.
potentially, yeah.
Anyway, dragons. We made dragons. Now,
Yeah.
we've established they're basically immortal. They're very big, and they generally fit into basically being tied to nature, celestials, elemental, or chaos or order.
Indeed.
Yeah. And they also we also established their angelic name. Um, Vladir Lashtaras.
Hey, that wasn't a
La-
softie.
it was Vladir.
There it
That is
is.
Vladir Lashtar. Vladir Lashtaras, which is angelic for winged scholars.
Perfect.
Next up, we created the pureborn,
The elves
uh,
of this world.
the elves of this world, who live normally around 1,000 years. They were created to guard these convergences, these cores of magic that sprang into being at the Great Offense, and they have ears.
They have the ears, yes.
Their ears were molded to be sharp and slightly long, to hear the sounds of magic, essentially, to seek out these cores of magic, and well, help protect them. Um, as such, they have a very musical culture, and they basically hear the core as the instrumental of a song, and the elemental guardian, which I'll get into soon,
Oh.
as the chorus. We also established their angelic name as like scouts. They are scoras, and then exil. So they're scoras of whatever their core
Yeah,
is.
whatever they're connected to, whatever their font is.
And when sleeping, they envision their guardian's dreams. Hey. Speaking of elemental guardians, they, as well as the pureborn, are made to discover these convulgences, these cores of magic, and well, in their case, they're trying to wield the magic they find. As such, they're very harshly affected by the core, and their body and being changes based on it. So, for example, a flame elemental affected by a core of darkness might, or rather, a core of like light would become like a very bright flame or
Yeah,
some
very
shit.
bright flame. The ever bright.
So they had the ever bright, the ever flame. The they their body is very magical in nature, or basically all their magic goes into their body. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane, guys. And upon death, they, and I quote from my notes, they respawn after like 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
um, so that they don't really die.
Yeah.
They can't really die
They can
unless
break
something.
and they can reform.
unless something was to break or fully absorb the source of magic. Um, they're they in terms of power scaling, they're about as strong as the
Probably
dragons.
with the slight difference of what like dragons having more power in terms of practicality and knowledge and
Yeah,
versatility, while these guys are basically like they put all their power into pure combat and power.
yeah.
So in a
They
fight they would probably win, but in terms of strength itself there's not much difference.
they do sleep most of the time. They spend the time in a state of slumber. Um, and so they cast their dreams to the pureborn of the region.
Indeed. They are the defender of X as opposed to the scout of X.
Yeah, they
Defenrum
are
Exil.
defenders.
And their lifespan
Defenderum.
is timeless, considering they can exist. They aren't going to die of old age, and even if they do
Yeah,
die, they just come back.
yeah. They don't per se live, they exist.
Yeah.
They're forces of the elements. Next up, the most interesting race you could possibly imagine, humans. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Um, so they were made by Chaos, the Archangel of Chaos, to basically be foot soldiers. They were your stock standard kill things. So they were created to adapt to any situation.
Yeah. They were the most successful of the types of foot soldiers
Yeah.
Chaos made.
However, um, once they gained sentience during the interference, they turned on Chaos. They realized the negatives of Chaos and such, and they turned on him.
Indeed.
And that did lead to the downfall of Chaos, the end of the Age of Chaos.
Indeed. Their
Um,
turning was the turning point in the
yeah.
war as well.
Now, they're pretty much everywhere and can adapt to most, if not any, climate. And they are absolutely relentless and indomitable. They have insane spirit
Yeah, they
and
are the
stamina.
indomitable human spirit.
Exactly. Because once they were dominated, but no more.
No more.
Also, they're good at mind magic. They are essentially the most attuned to choice,
Yeah.
if you will. They're the most attuned to making the world what they want to see, and so they can concentrate on magic more effectively.
Yeah.
Their lifespan is usually around 100 years, mostly due to mm, some kind of like magical influence in their societies, because that's still a long time
Yeah.
for normal,
A bit
just
it's
average Joe.
quite a bit for suddenly becoming
Yeah,
an average of centenarians.
and they are aptly named the soldiers of adaptation, or the uh, Fito Malil.
Which
Yeah,
where there are other soldiers of other things
yeah,
called Fito,
the
and then
something
various
else.
something
So
else il, which are conclaves of essentially human related
yeah,
in like
being
the equivalent of the about like the Neanderthals.
yeah, exactly. Moving on, we have the Earthspawn.
Are
Um,
dwarves.
are dwarves. They are small and are thick boned and live underground, the way you love them.
Oh yeah.
Now, special to these guys is that they have like they well, first of all, they convulge from stone. That's how they come from the earth.
Yeah.
They were they were born of the planet, essentially. Um, as a defense mechanism against chaos is like poison. It During the Age of Chaos, chaos poisoned the world with its influence.
as sort of a last
Yeah,
last fuck you before being cast away.
yeah. And this corruption, this poison, is growing in the form of crystals that latch on to nearby earth and rocks and spreads itself. These guys were created by the world to counteract this. They exist mostly, or in reality, purely to gather these crystals and purify them. They can do that with various different types of whatever magic
Yeah.
they happen to be using. Now, they don't naturally regenerate. They have this this water-like substance that is self-replicating.
It's their
But they
equivalent
don't.
of blood.
Yeah, exactly. So they don't actually regenerate their body. It's just their blood that can regenerate. As such, if you get hit as an Earthspawn, you're in a pretty bad situation if you get hit hard enough. That shoulder isn't coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they are very inherently tough since their body is strong like stone.
they also have a very apt sense of smell that can detect the chaos crystals, and this has led to a very culinary culture because their sense of smell is they like pleasing their sense of smell.
Oh yeah. Love.
They have a very magical body. They use a lot of body magic. That's basically their go-to. They don't normally dabble in other magic.
They can, but they're
Type.
too stubborn to
They
try.
can. Yeah, exactly. And those who stray from their sacred purpose, the non-purifiers, for now,
Yep.
may use these types more. They can live for thousands of years in reality, but they don't do that very often because they don't regenerate naturally. So
Instead of aging,
yeah,
they sort of corrode like a stone statue
yeah,
would.
exactly. Yeah, they are called the Earthspawn or the Crystal Seekers. In is the angelic word for it, or Transulcera is the pronunciation.
Angelic tongue, or
The
the
angelic
mortal version
tongue.
of the angelic tongue.
Yeah, the Lundarks. Lundarks.
Yeah,
It's
Lundak. You gotta have the Lundak.
They're Germans. No.
Yeah, they're German.
They were created by order in the fight against chaos. To basically fight non-magical beings, and they were created weak to magic, so that they could indicate whether or not the opposing army has magic or not. If they were defeated, usually that would imply that the opponent has magic.
Yep.
If they were not, then success. So basically, sending them in was a win-win situation.
Yep.
You either learn or you win. Now, as such, they were created weak to magic, but they're insanely strong against physical attacks. They basically don't stop growing, so they can grow as big and strong as they're allowed to, essentially.
Yeah.
As they survive to do. Granted, there is a point where they collapse because their body grows too big for themselves to handle.
Yeah.
Now this could be theoretically um,
Be
be
subverted.
circumvented by magic,
Yeah.
which would allow them to grow theoretically forever. But normally they only live about 200 years. Or rather, they can grow a max of 200 years without collapsing, but normally they don't live that long
Yeah.
because they have a very militant culture. Now, they have gray skin, various shades of gray, and they live by the Great Lake in the southern hemisphere, um, and where they worship the great serpent of the lake, which we haven't discussed much yet, but we will.
Probably next episode. Look forward
Yeah,
to it.
they seek to mold their body to be able to, well, perform athletic feats, fight better, but also to dive as deep into the Great Lake as they can, in hopes of spotting the Great Serpent, which is considered
Yeah.
the greatest honor among their culture.
But it's also they also generally sort of have a ritual that the deeper you go, the more
Yeah.
the more of a Chad you are essentially.
Yeah. Ironic that Chad means lake.
Yeah.
Uh, then there's the fact that they're like they're very territorial. So basically, if you get into their domain, you need to watch your tongue and watch everything you do, because if you disrespect them, you're fucked. But if you don't, they'll respect you as a guest.
Indeed.
Like if you follow their culture, you will be greeted as one who follows their culture. As such, they also very much seek to respect and follow the culture of whoever they are guests for. So if they go outside their own domain, they will be nice and sweet and jovial to whoever they may meet, because I'm in your house now.
Yeah, they are very nice. They have a very strong sense of hospitality.
Yeah. Very few of them are able to do magic, and those who are usually seen by most people as gifted by the Great Serpent, um, who is a creature of the great font of darkness at the bottom of the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have glowing eyes, which grow dark if they see the serpent, which is a way to see who has experienced this great honor.
Indeed, and also by their eyes growing dimmer, you embrace the dark that they
Yeah,
so love more by being even more capable of shrouding yourself in a void.
yeah, and they have they some of the few that have attained, like that are able to use magic. They foretell of a prophecy, um, of the serpent rising to consume the world. And normal people would be terrified of this. These guys look forward to it. It's considered the greatest honor in existence for them
There's nothing
to
better.
be consumed by the serpent. As such, they seek to grow as large and as strong to serve as the best possible arbiter and fuel for the serpent's power.
Yeah.
They want to be big food.
Want to be big and plump.
Yeah. So, I suppose the name Lundachs mean marked aggressors. They were essentially marked by their lack of magic, and they
Yeah.
were used as a mark for who has magic.
Yeah. And we're
And they were
also
literally
very
used to just
much
rush in.
yes, shock troops.
This is translated as well, Blidvora or Blidvora, depending on I guess, which accent of angelic you speak.
Yeah, whether you're more of a southern or northern angel.
Do you live in southern North Angel Town?
South or north heaven.
Yeah. But that's up to interpretation.
And that is what we have discussed.
That was today.
A very productive stream. I am genuinely impressed at our capabilities. At our ability to take two of the basic races and make them very unique to our setting.
Yeah.
With the elves and the dwarves.
I feel good about this.
Yeah, I feel really good about this. And the Lundarks,
this is
which are essentially
very cool.
which were essentially our orcs, are well, they have that charm of the orcs, but are also very much unique.
They're not made with an orc template, so we don't really have. They fulfill a similar role, but that's basically it. So, I'm also impressed at our ability to occasionally just go like sit for 2 minutes in a row, silent, thinking, what is name?
What is? Well, I mean, the names are forever the worst.
Yeah.
The worst. Well, not the worst part, but the hardest part of this shit.
We might, or I say we. It's gonna be you. You might need to cut out a few like parts where we're just sitting and repeating, what is the name? What is the? I don't know. What is the name?
Gonna have to fucking watch through the 3 hours.
Oh no, you're gonna have to watch our content.
Yeah. Oh no, it's truly a punishment on death.
Fuck.
But
well, to be fair, we've established we don't do that shit.
Yeah, I think we should both go back and have a listen to our own podcast so we can be up to date about what we've said. And we should really probably write down a few more of the things we said about in the other episodes, because I don't think we've particularly episode 3, I don't think we wrote enough down.
No, that's true.
Because we have not written down what the great offense is.
Have we not?
No.
Oh. That's yeah. Why have we not done that?
I guess we were just like, well, it's on video. We know what it is.
What the fuck?
Which is a very bad way of looking at it, because that means we can't fucking what were we expecting in the past? That during a future episode we were just gonna flip up our own podcast, start listening to it?
I mean, I guess it's we were expecting, oh, we'll just pull up the timeline. Oh, great offense. I know what that is.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we do, but
we do now.
But at the same time, we do, but that doesn't mean that we
for what I
know the specifics about it.
Yeah, I'd completely forgotten we have the Age of Renewal.
Yeah, to be fair, we don't have much about it.
No.
Actually, okay, we have written what the great offense was. In the timeline, we haven't written what the interference was.
That's true. We haven't. Yeah, no, we haven't.
Time adds vision, gets entropy to steal power and matter and energy to bind them into existence in the form of paths, strings woven into.
Yeah.
That's great. The only fucking thing that we have written in any of these other than that one is in the Celestial War End, which is Void does big explosion.
Void does big explosion.
Oh no, in the Age of Chaos we have chaos fucks with life. And then life brings in order to help fight chaos.
Nice.
That's it.
Very nice. All right, we'll have to look into that.
Oh, right, yeah.
All right.
No, there wasn't even mainly chaos and order that have been fighting throughout most of it.
No.
It was chaos and life.
Yeah.
And then order came in.
Stepping in to fuck up. I'm here to kill chaos. Yeah, but it was after the
Which means
like the nature gods left.
Which means also we might want to move the interference back a little bit, because
Why?
the war ended a little after the interference, remember? We just
That
agreed
is
on that.
true. That is true. We do need to do that.
But that can be done.
Far.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you
Anyway,
all for tuning in. We are
Yes.
happy to see some slight viewership on it. It brings
Yeah.
us great joy, especially now that we both have channels that are linked to these episodes.
Indeed. What you should do is you should go into the description, not the description, the comment section, and you should write what you would want to see in the world.
Yeah, what do you want to see in the world? What do you want
Give
us
us
to
ideas.
what do you want us to discuss? What do you have of interests that
What do you think is cool? When are you free tonight?
Oh, yeah, any of those. But what else should you do? Well, if you haven't already, you should pop around the different channels. There's a
Oh,
total of 3 of them now that you could theoretically get
yeah.
into. We have Vixie the Pixie, the most established one. Plenty of stuff over there.
Yeah.
Go watch him struggle with the path of pain currently.
Yeah. Help.
We have Sarum the Voidborn, my lovely channel. Not got too much on there yet, but it does have a wonderful Mario Party video that I've been told by
That's
everyone.
doing very well.
Yeah, I've been told by everyone who's watched it that it is a peak content, so go ahead.
Yes.
So go subscribe to those 2, and of course subscribe to Lads Media if you haven't already.
Absolutely do that.
The prime place
why aren't you?
Yeah, the prime place to get the Rising Dawn and future Lads Media content.
Yes. I mean, it's obvious you should do that.
Yeah.
I can't believe you're not subscribed.
It's
Subscribe.
kind of weird, actually. Like, come on.
Yeah, you're kind of a fucking loser if you don't subscribe. Imagine being in a world building podcast and calling someone else a loser.
Yeah, the ultimate oxymoron. Fucking doing a podcast about building a world and calling others losers. Man, we have fallen further than I thought possible.
Anyway,
thank you all for
next
watching.
time we'll be discussing more species, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be Species Part 2.
Yeah. Species Part 2. So yeah, thank you guys for listening.
Thank you for listening, and since you did the intro, go ahead and sign us off.
Bye.
Bye.